Warning: the content on this podcast are of our own and our guests, and are not to be taken as gospel. It's just our thoughts. Thank you and enjoy.
LTS.
Kick back, relax, and enjoy the LTS podcast.
My best friend.
Salutations. This is Marcos Lopez, and welcome to the internet. To Life, Tech, and Sundry. Tonight, we're the big three and the special guest. From the top here on the list, I have the special guest. Let's keep his name short and sweet. His name is Moy. Introduce yourself, Moy.
Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? Name's Moises.
Next is Josue.
Oh yes, this is I. I am here to save the day.
Alan.
What's going on, guys? It is I. Thank you for having me again, Marcos, Mr. J, and shout outs to Moy that was able to make it tonight. I'm happy to be with you guys and can't wait for a great conversation.
Okay, now I wanted to ask both Alan and Jose, and of course Moy over here, about the tech questions. Recently, we found out that
Tomatoes.
yes, that earlier this month, as in we're in April. Technically, yeah, April. We're in April. There was an announcement that Samsung got hacked, guys,
Wasn't that last one?
and Apple having technical difficulties. I'm calling it as a DDoS attack, personally. But my question is anyone safe out here? Guys, is any company immune to being hacked?
No one's safe, bro. Everybody can get it.
Sounds like
Marcos.
what happened? What?
These hands are really
Hey,
deep
yo.
for everyone.
Why would you? What's the main goal, Moy, over here about hackers doing? Hackers always be hacking. Why?
So, just based off on, for example, what type of security level you're talking about, in most cases, usually like hotels, big buildings can be hacked just because most of their security level isn't that good. Like IP ports aren't really protected for like safeguard. But like Alan said, anybody can pretty much get it as long as there's an open port, as long as there's no port blocking, no IP protection, no dynamic IP addresses. Everybody can get it, pretty much.
So that means you always gotta stay wrapped up, guys.
That's facts. That's facts.
Always stay strapped.
No, you gotta stay wrapped. Strapped is the other way, where they're coming. They're like, respect my authority, and boom.
Respect my authority. No, but literally though. So
See, when you're wrapped, that's when they try to go from behind, but they can't do anything because you're wrapped up and you're ready to go.
Wait, what?
Exactly.
It's confusing.
it is confusing.
It's like in Elden Rings, you try to go from behind and you backstab them, but they're
I
wrapped
love
up.
the segue. I love the segue. Well, do you guys have any other input? I think Moy is really on the ball with that one, and I'm pretty sure it's because of his background and what he does. Do you guys, Mr. J, Marcos, do you have any input on that?
Well, for me, it's just the whole thing about Samsung. I'm going into detail. Basically, there's more or less enough data to pull out the Galaxy bootload code, just specifically the Galaxy line. I'm like, no, not my Galaxy Note and all those things. So if this is correct, if this is proven to be true, anyone with the boot code can basically launch any other operating system into their phone if they wanted to, right?
And what?
The bootloader on the Galaxy lines of Samsung. On the Galaxy phones.
It's not my forte, but I will agree with you. I concur.
So and Josue, you can correct me if this is wrong, but like the bootload code allows you to just like adjust the programming on like the cell phone, right? And it'll allow it to like reinitiate from like bare bones.
Wait, they took that?
Yeah,
Yep.
the bootload code.
Oh, dang, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. It basically writes the OS into the system from any system. So, yeah, that sucks.
Can it? Is there a way for Samsung to just release like an update in the back end to reinforce
patch?
like a patch?
Yeah.
There you go. Good.
No,
Oof. Oof. Imagine
It's
these
not
companies.
impossible because eventually they're gonna update their software and probably change it.
Okay. Oof.
All right, so just really quick, I don't know about you guys, but I've gotten a recent update on my phone about, I want to say, like about a week. Yeah, about like a week or 5 days ago, I've gotten an update for my phone for the Galaxy Note 20 5G. And for you guys that have maybe older notes, I don't know if you guys got it, but maybe in that.
I don't have a note.
Wait.
Can't take notes here. You need
Okay,
some-
maybe not yet.
I don't have a note.
I
maybe
do.
not
I
yet.
can corroborate. I
So
did.
I don't know if that if systematically it happens because of these issues, or if it usually happens because your phone needs to get updated every so often, right? And either whether it be Google side or Samsung side, they try to do that in order for these things to not happen so often. Maybe, I don't know.
You know what I think would be a bad scenario?
What?
If they were able to crack the decryption code into like Samsung Knox, because I heard that they didn't.
Oh, thank God.
I heard they got some code from it, but they didn't get everything. And I'm hoping that they don't have the decryption method.
But isn't that actively monitored?
The decryption method?
No, I'm saying whatever security system or firmware system that they have, aren't those type of systems like actually actively protected? Like they have actual people running code or having someone.
No, right. But typically when, like for example, VPNs, right? They typically encrypt your.
I love VPNs.
Your
Are we
data
sponsored?
from in and out.
No, I wish.
Hashtag not sponsored yet.
Hashtag
But
wish.
typically for VPNs, they encrypt your data. For the most part, if say they get the encryption method or algorithm, they can backend and kind of figure out a way to decrypt it, but it's much harder to do typically. Since like, you know, like the easiest way to explain it is like if an encryption method was like you shift 3 bits and that's your encryption, right? Well, the opposite of that you will typically do is you shift the other direction. But for the most case nowadays, encryption methods or encryption algorithms are so advanced that, you know, they usually bring up like it'll take like a computer to reverse it like a 1,000 years or so, right? But if they figure out the decrypt, because you always have to figure out a way to ravel it up and unravel it. That's why they keep the decryption algorithm a secret. If they figure that out, then it's like, well, screw the whole. It'll take 2 years, yeah. Because then typically they like to keep it the same because it's all just the same encryption algorithm. So they still have, you know, you have the same way to encrypt it and decrypt it. So if they figure that out, which typically that's like they have to really hide it because that's the one thing they don't want to like to be leaked. Because if they leaked it, then they'll have to figure out another encryption algorithm, and that's always a pain in the butt to do.
So guys, or Josue, maybe, or any of you guys can answer this for me. Is that like the same encryption that is used for, say, and I think Josue answered this before, for like cameras on your either tablet or your laptop or your phone, like where people actually try to hack it and they're able to turn on your camera and like spy on you? Is that like sort of the encryption, or is that more of like a hardware type of deal?
Well, data coming. Oh, go ahead, more.
I was gonna say that's software. They have to install a special like folder software into your machine to be able to do that, because at the end of the day, what they're trying to do is monitor whatever keypad references you input onto your machine. So they literally, like, they won't turn on your camera. What they do is they scan your keyboard, right? So whatever you type in, they receive. And on top of that, I wanted to say, like, some of the things that, like, I know that are monitored on, like, devices, like secure devices, is they won't monitor, like, they won't look for an IP address or like a different IP address. What they look for is a out of place MAC address, meaning a new MAC address. So that the MAC address has to do with, like, think about a MAC address as like your computer's name, right? That can't be changed. That is unique to your device, whether it be a phone, a laptop,
A virtual machine as well?
A virtual machine has their own MAC addresses.
Right.
Oh.
And you could adjust that because it's a virtual machine.
Yeah.
It's virtual.
Okay, that's interesting.
But
I didn't know
the thing
either,
the thing that worries, like, what I'm saying is, like, the data coming in and out of your phone. So, like, you exploring Instagram, you going into Google, you know, you're sending data to a server, and, you know, for example, like, for this example, Samsung Docs, what they promise is like a VPN service where they encrypt it, and you know, most people can't see that. So if they figure out a way to decrypt that, say, like I said, they somehow find a decryption algorithm, then it's like you going out naked, even though you were told these were clothes. It's like they see everything, but they were like, nah, you good. You got a t-shirt, you got pants, you got everything. Don't worry.
It's like transparent clothes. Yes.
And then, well, there it goes. So, like, for phones nowadays, the one thing you should always avoid is, like, leaving a way for hackers to kind of access your device from another location. So, like, if you download something, typically like software, if it's malicious, then, you know, obviously it will then take over your device, and then they'll give an access point to whoever's, you know, controlling that from another place. And then once they have admin control, then they'll have everything: cameras, touch, any sensors, microphones, cellular antennas, everything.
And for companies, could that also be like
For any
cloud
device
access points? So does a DDoS attack count as a hack? What?
Not what I described. That's a different type of attack.
Oh, that's a verb, an actual event that you're doing. A hack is like you extracting data, I guess.
No. A hack is any attack from another location to another device.
Okay.
A DDoS is something more specific.
Okay.
So I forgot what it was.
Something service of service.
So that kind of reminds me of one of the articles we were touching upon maybe like 2-3 weeks ago. I think it was a Wired article we were reading where this hacker was hacking North Korea's internet.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, it kind of reminded me of
It was
that.
Marcos.
Was it Marcos?
No, it was also.
He figured he somehow guessed the password for their internet and got in.
China, not number one. Korea, number one.
Was that the password?
I forgot. I was going to bring up an example of a good way, or a good example of why you should keep your things protected and how hackers can benefit from hacking you. The Toei animation hack.
Oh yeah,
You know, the
Toei.
hackers were able to copy
Unfortunately.
all of the videos that they animated. So all the episodes, even the Dragon Ball Super movie, they were able to copy, and then they held that at
corrupted them.
ransom.
Didn't they corrupt the files though?
Yeah,
Right? No, yeah.
they
Well,
slashed and burned
Yes,
the
but
original.
I think they restored it. But the problem was that they have copies of it, so they're like, if you don't give us the money, we'll just then release it.
Oh,
they can
that
still do
sucks.
yeah.
They went to the dark web to like peddle these anime episodes.
You
Yeah.
say that jokingly, but probably they did.
No, I'm not
No,
saying
they
it
did.
jokingly.
No, they
Yeah,
did.
that's exactly what they do. It's
Yeah.
what people usually do.
This is why, like, I think I heard that Toei's just gonna redo it.
No,
Everything.
I mean,
Well, yeah,
that
'cause-
would suck because of all the time and like
Money.
time, blood, sweat, and tears. Well, the money is important for, I guess, the higher ups, but I mean, you have to pay the employees. But you imagine the painstaking process to go through of like drawing, coloring, shading, and like the voice actors having to go back and doing all that work. Or I mean, I don't know to what extent, but I mean that's a crazy process.
So this is a lesson for Toei to invest more in cybersecurity.
There's companies like, right, there's third-party companies that actually give that service of actively monitoring, and then
Yes.
also what's the other thing that they do besides monitor? They actively try to break down the systems in place to try to make like
So wait, you
better.
just broke two different things. It's one that works as your security guard, and the other one that stress tests the security guard. if you will.
Right, exactly. I mean, there's third-party companies that do that for
Undoubtedly.
for
Yeah.
for a
For a
profit.
good price.
No, exactly. I mean, banks probably go through this system.
We live in a
they
capitalist
go
society.
through a lot.
There's always money to be made there.
And the reason I bring that up is because I remember working at some point in the kitchen with a person that was studying to do that, and it seemed super interesting because I asked him straight up, I'm like, is there any system, VPN or something that could actually protect you? He's like, anything is crackable and hackable, because unfortunately that's the type of system that is being used.
Except
wait,
for
wait.
NordVPN, which is sponsored.
No. No,
I wish.
No. The other thing that I was going to
Hashtag
mention.
not sponsored.
The other thing that I was going to mention is, ironically, sometimes it's just us, the human factor, that we click on something by accident and just
We
download.
fumbled the bag, absolutely.
Like, majority of the hacks is enabled because of us not knowing what a hack is.
I actually remember briefly listening to a gentleman on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Oh, no.
And I think he was this gentleman that he was a guest on the show, and he was explaining how I don't know what company he worked for, if he worked for the government, but point was that people don't even have to click on anything anymore.
Zero clicks.
Right, they just I guess they scan your either phone or something, and they were speaking upon how Jeff Bezos' phone got hacked, and basically there was no clicking, there was nothing involved, and there's I think some sort of bug or code that is sent, and it monitors and downloads the information off, in this case, off his phone, and he didn't do a damn thing in order for it to like start. And I think one of the solutions that happened, or one of the solutions that was brought up, was that if the phone is inactive for a certain amount of time, it kind of like self-destructs that sequence and it disappears, and you can never really trace it to who or what or how it happened.
So wait, if your phone is turned off, basically?
Yeah, essentially, the person that was explaining it says that if you so happen to turn off the phone or not use it for an extended amount of time, he didn't really specify how long, but I think for his example, it was about a week or two or something like that. And who the hell doesn't use their cell phone for 2 weeks, right?
No one.
Exactly. So, but essentially what he was explaining is that at some point, whatever code or sequence is running in the back basically self-destructs and erases from ever existing on that phone or what have you. And there's
This
no
device will self-destruct in.
right, basically. Well, the sequence, anyways. But yeah, that was super interesting to me, and I think it's something that I think Moy brought up earlier in the conversation, where it's like there has to be some sort of system that, or sequencing, or some sort of code that's being developed by obviously the government's ultra top secret, right? Black ops of yeah,
Of cybersecurity.
where they use these type of codes or sequences that basically do this and much more that we're not privy to, right? So I don't know, what do you guys think?
Profit is incentive there.
Yeah, it is.
So I know for a fact that a lot of phones get scanned without anybody noticing, just off of like basically programs that are written, right? As a matter of fact, because our credit cards have now a chip, that's one of the reasons we can actually like scan these cards without anybody noticing, is because there's readers, there's different ways that without you knowing. For example, let's take into example Google, right? Google,
Yeah.
without you knowing, actually tracks every single location which you've been at, or where you've been, right? So what it does is it registers, like through code, it registers your different locations based on the code that it already has on like its layout, because they have these cars that have to go through a certain spot in order to like read it, right, to know it's there. So without you knowing, they actually like register all these locations of you, correct? So it's code that it's actually interacting with your surroundings, whether it be your car, right? Whether your cell phone interacts with your car, it automatic with it connecting through Bluetooth. There's code right then and there that's interacting with your car from your cell phone, and whenever your cell phone is connected to any source of like internet, it's able to communicate with everything around it, because of the reason that these are like signals that are being broadcasted from everywhere and anywhere. That's why, regardless of whether you know it or not, your phone is actually communicating with your surroundings, and that's what's actually making it easier for us to be like advertised to. Because believe it or not, the things that are moving these like technology advancements, it's like advertisement, because they want to be able to know what appeals to you. And so they'll pay a lot of money to know what you're doing, what you're buying, where, not really because where you are, but what are you consuming as an individual.
So you're saying that your data is
Chicken
worth
nuggets.
more. Your data that you can produce is worth for them more than gold, even sometimes.
Just because you're a consumer, right? And this is something that benefits them on the long run. Like, let's say you go to McDonald's at 9 a.m., right? And you buy, I don't know, pancakes and,
A
eggs.
big breakfast with hotcakes.
Right. Yes, correct. That influences like what people are actually paying for, like advertisements, and these big companies that are actually willing to pay a lot of money for, let's say, Optimum, to sell them info on you, right? However, on the back end, there's all this data being monitored, like you're on a GPS 24/7 type of thing.
No one, if you're going to the local bodega, they could probably sell that data. Like, you get these many people going through your doors every 24 hours. I'd recommend you to make deals here, here, and here. This is worth, but after you paying for that data, that's how you're trying to sell
And
it.
at the end of the day, there's what I'm saying is there's people that write programs in order, because nobody can monitor that feed, right?
No.
What they're looking for are specific how could I say it? Markers, right? The program is looking for specific markers that you go through. Somebody had to write that code in order for like, for example, Facebook to monitor if you're going into like a random market. Somebody had to write that program in order to make that a marker, make that specific location a marker type thing. So on a daily basis, this is going back to Alan's point. We're besides the fact that we're being monitored, there's different programs that already exist that hackers have accessibility to. For example, if they were to just get, Google, if they were able to get into Google Maps, they would have access to all this extra information, such as like when you go into a bank. So now they know, what bank you go to, because they monitor your phone on like a registered email account that's associated already to like a specific IP address because of your phone. And they don't even know that they don't even have to know an IP address. They could, they know your MAC address. So it's associated already to like a Google account.
That is
thing.
scary. That is very
That is
scary.
crazy. So
And not
just no, go ahead, Moy. I'm sorry.
And not only that, like unsecured like Wi-Fi networks, man. Like from an unsecure Wi-Fi network, if you were to like connect to Optimum Wi-Fi, you can see all these different users, and it eventually leads you to their passwords, to like their Optimum passwords.
Dang it. That
Type
is
of
scary.
thing.
No, that's crazy. No, and I just wanted to basically
We're still being charged for these services.
right. I just wanted to make clear, Moy explained it really well, where it's like, no one's safe. The best you can do is try to be cautious as best as possible, right? If when necessary or when you need to use your VPN, right? Don't use common
Public
passwords.
Wi-Fi.
Public Wi-Fi is another thing. Yeah, it's very scary.
Now, from
yeah,
there,
so-
that you were saying, there's another business on that side that you're talking about. Not only there's certain levels of security, are you willing to pay for it? There's even markets for your security nowadays, like specifically for phones. Like there's VPNs for everything. And then,
And this
Right.
is sponsored by ExpressVPN.
and this, my question is that, do you guys think that
Not
we
sponsored.
should, there should be a more growth on like third-party operating systems that emphasize, or their main selling point, if you will, is privacy, anonymity? I shared like a list of the top 5 that, you know, allegedly are the top rated for anonymity, that delink themselves from the Google network, and they're Android, obviously, because right now everything is more accessible via Android to install different operating systems. Do you think right now, do you think there's a market for operating systems to replace Apple within its own hardware? Do you think it's even possible?
No, I don't think Apple would ever allow that. One, and then secondly, I mean, there's companies, and I'll just mention one. And if you guys want to search it, you can definitely do it. It's called CrowdStrike. It's a third-party company that does security or cybersecurity, and basically, it's one of those companies that has one notoriety in the actual space. For companies that deal with a lot of, I think one of the companies it deals with for cybersecurity is ADP. So this is a company that basically tracks the payment for people, for workers, for
W-2s and stuff.
yeah, for companies that do this type of payment through what's it called? Contactless payments, where it just goes straight into your bank account. So they do cybersecurity for companies like ADP and others. So it might be a company that you might want to look into. But back to your question, Marcos, I don't think Apple would allow other companies to try to mess with their whole ecosystem at all. But I don't
you
know.
already bought your phone. Isn't it technically yours?
Again, the way you're basically when you buy an Apple product, you're basically signing over you're waiving that I guess you can say that ownership to the actual product, because you're buying into the ecosystem, and there is no way getting around that walled garden. But I could be wrong. Maybe there's some loophole or something, because even trying to fix the iPhone, if it's not by them, it's really iffy how to get parts so you can fix your phone or anything Apple for that matter.
And then there's like Google tracks everything on you. If like even the Android phones, like you can technically turn off some location settings, some of those things, but at the same
Right.
time, it's time consuming. Like my lore, if you will, is that Google wants to keep you in the ecosystem, and of course you can say the free route and you're gonna get a lot of ads, or you can just pay and not get ads, and they still pull data off you. You're their golden egg, if you will, their golden goose, if you will.
Well, yeah, you're paying for the services, so they want to keep you as a customer as long as they can, right? And I think a lot of companies are moving towards that type of system, or that the way Apple does things, where it's very much their own ecosystem. So we see Samsung doing similar things, right? They're following suit, where a lot of companies adopt certain Apple-esque type of things.
Yeah.
Whether it be hardware or software, they're trying to follow suit and try to be competitive, right? Because everybody talks about Apple because of its exclusivity and its ecosystem, and they want to capture some of that with their product, right? Whether it be Google or Samsung, whether it be Amazon or Facebook or
What's
whoever.
this? The Oppo series or the OnePlus series?
Right. OnePlus, Oppo, Xiaomi.
There you go.
So yeah, there's a lot of companies that are trying to follow suit, right? And they're trying to adapt and imitate to a certain extent. I think it used to be a lot freer back in the day when it started, right?
But it used to suck too.
Well, yeah, but everything, the first iteration of everything is going to suck to a certain degree. It's not until like maybe maybe the third, fourth, fifth, and maybe even the 20th iteration where it starts getting to be a lot more usable.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all refinement, and I think cybersecurity is no different, right?
Or
It's
just services in itself for that, for cyber
yeah,
privacy.
right. And just the same, right? You'll see cybersecurity improve, but that's because hacking improves as
There's
well.
a demand,
Yeah, the demand is great because people need are asking for it, and as they should, because no one needs to know your personal or private things, right?
Unless you give it willingly. No, I'm just kidding.
And to a certain degree, people do, because when you sign off on or waive your I guess your ownership, your security, right? You're essentially doing that. And I mean, every time we sign into our Google Play Store or our whatever Play Store or Apple Store, whatever, usually there's certain terms and conditions that they ask you to click OK, and they ask you to read all the fine print. And at the end, it says, hey, and then that fine print,
we own you.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you'll give us your first kid, So it's really, it's really weird and crazy. But I mean, times we live in.
So the moral of the story is, no matter how many clothes you have put on, someone's always going to take one piece at a time.
Somebody wants to take your clothes off. Yeah.
Yes.
That's
one piece
kind
at a time.
That's kind of eerie, but it is, unfortunately. It's a fact.
Right.
And then those operating systems that I'm telling you, their main selling that I put in the list there, the show notes will be.
Because Marcos, the thing is, once they get closer and closer to be naked, then they can put you on naked and afraid.
You say this jokingly, but it's actually a fact. You're saying this kidding, but it's actually true.
Marcos, don't you want to be on naked and afraid? No one wants to be filmed in their deepest, darkest moments.
Well, unless they're getting paid. There's some crazy people like that.
There's a niche.
Like Marcos here.
Yeah, right?
They'll leak their own videos.
Boom goes the dynamite. They're famous.
So shall we move on, Marcos?
On to the next.
Which is?
It's about open software.
It's about even that. There is the where is it? Which one? The source? Yeah, the value. Your notes, Jose. Let's talk about your notes.
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh, because we went through everything else.
Yeah, I talked about the UI and all those things, the user interfaces.
And we learned that we can't use it.
No, there's a supply and demand always.
Salmon or tilapia?
Neither. All about the steak.
It's all about the goldfishes.
Very good.
So there's a video that also shared.
No, Mark, listen here. Listen.
No.
And watch. So I have a video here posted. I don't know if you guys watched it. Did you?
Yes,
I think
did.
Marcos did.
I did not.
No.
Dang, that sucks. So imagine this, right?
Can I get the Spark Notes, please?
So imagine this, right? You haven't posted in 8 months, and what do? You mess with one of the biggest community out there, stonks.
I love stonks.
For day trading, basically. But you add your little twist and take on it.
Okay.
You add your little twist and take on it.
Let me know. What's the twist?
You have a goldfish. You won in a carnival in the carnivore state fair. And you're like, what do I do? How do I involve fish with stonks? Or stocks?
I love it. Yes.
You become Michael. So the video is by Michael Reeves. And the reason why I bring this up because it's kind of funny, but I know that Al, over here likes stocks.
Yes.
And I have no idea how it works. So, but his video was funny, and I know. Please keep in mind, do not do whatever he did. He even said
Not
himself
financial
that
advice.
This
There
is,
you
yeah,
go.
it's not
You beat me
financial
to it.
advice. This is definitely not financial advice. But the way his method was pretty cool. It probably won't work.
You'd be
'Cause
surprised.
it was the probability is about as same as flipping a coin.
Essentially.
So he has a goldfish. I think he named it Freddy, I think it was. So he wanted to
Fred.
So he wanted to I probably used the wrong name too. He wanted to involve somehow allow his fish to determine which stocks to buy at a certain time. So he's like, how do I do that? Well, let me do some coding stuff because that's what he's famous for. And he starts off with making a decision method using the fish. And his decision method was the reason why I don't say algorithm, because algorithms usually consist of long mathematical equations. This was literally just fish is on this side, you buy this stock. Fish was on that side, you buy that stock. So obviously he split the tank in half, and determine on which side it was which stock he was gonna buy. So to like sum it up in more technical terms, he made a color mask by separating all the colors minus the orange tint, so basically the color of his goldfish, and then
RGB
created a
code
perimeter
value.
around the tank, squared off his fish, and kind of split it in half. So if it was on one side, it will buy the side that stock is on. If it was on the other side, it will buy that stock. So basically a simple 0-1 decision making. So that was his little algorithm. But he was like, how do I compare this to kind of show how great this decision making algorithm is, or decision making program is? So seeing that he's big on Reddit and memes, there's a Reddit thread. It's like he called it, what was it, like r/WSP? I forgot what it stands for. It was like Wall Street Bank, something like that.
Wall Street bets.
Bets, yes. Basically everyone was saying go buy this meme stock. So what he did is he made a data set, basically a binary classification data set. So meaning this phrase means good, this phrase means bad. And he developed a machine learning model to determine all the good one. If it matches a good response, then they'll buy that stock. If it matches a negative one, then they won't buy that stock. And he made a data set with 10,000 data points, and I was like, Jesus, how did you do all that? Because this isn't something you can automate, because every phrase is different. He explained that he got a bunch of the moderators from the Reddit thread and made them label positive, negative on each phrase.
He made
I
a
was like,
website.
sheesh. No, but he said he got the moderators to label them separate, because you can't. Like that would require a whole different other machine learning model to do that. So he just got like a few of the moderators split. I think he split into 10 of them, so like 1,000 each to say positive, negative, and then use that as a training data set to train the model. And then he would run the model by collecting the phrases from the Reddit post. And then he used that to determine which stock to buy. And he would then compare the results from the fish to the machine learning model with the WSP data set. Now, I don't know how true this is. I think these were the actual numbers, but in the end, the fish was beating out the Reddit post, the Reddit thread, by a large margin. I think like the fish, like again, I don't know how true this is because the guy is known for like memeing it. But it turns out that the fish was able to get a gain of like $6,000, and the Reddit thread had a loss of like, I think it was like in the $3,000. And he split, I think, like $25,000 between the two. Then he gave it to, I think, this famous YouTuber. Forgot what his name was. Do you remember the name, Marcos? Marcos?
I don't remember. Something Nick or something like that.
I don't remember, but he's pretty famous in the stonks side of YouTube. And he compared he told them, here's the two profiles that he has, one being the fish and one being the.
But he didn't tell that to the guy.
But he didn't tell them. But he's like, here, do you tell me which profile would you go for to get the most money, basically? And he's like, yeah, I'll go with this algorithm being the fish. And he's like, yeah, so the profile you chose was a fish. He goes, wait, what? And mind you, he knew that the other one, the Reddit one, it was like, oh yeah, these are all the meme stocks. And he was like, yeah, I'll go with the fish. He goes, yeah, this is a fish. He's like, oh, huh? And then he took it another notch. He went up to like this company, not this company, this kind of like organization.
Oh yeah,
that like people are investing in startups. And he had a full on presentation. They were there. They had their laptops. They were taking notes. And this guy was trying to sell them on buying and he called it an algorithm. Basically, his fish. And he's like, the way they can improve is, better filters, a bigger tank, better water quality, everything. And they're like, wait, so your little algorithm here for buying stocks is a fish? He's like, yeah, it's a fish. It's and he showed them the picture of the fish. He's like, what?
Get out, they told him.
Well, he pictured as they kicked him out, but in reality, they had a good laugh. I think they told him, like, they probably told the higher ups, like, listen, this is just a joke. We're trying to make a YouTube video, and it'd be great if you didn't tell them, but for them to act serious, and they came in seriously.
Professional.
And they're like, it was almost like a Shark Tank type of vibe. Like they're like sitting like determining, well, should I invest in this? And then they're like, why should I invest in a fish?
But that's how the market is, though. It's that random that a fish can get a lot of W's.
Yeah, the fish. According to him, like I said, I don't think this was actually true. I think that he kind of skewed the data to make the fish look like it was winning. Since it was such a large margin.
Yeah, because the stock market is so volatile, short term, a lot of these type of things look really good on paper. But when you're an actual investor, usually your timing should be at least 5 years. So that gives you a little bit more of a track record if what the fish did was actually a good call or not. And it kind of reminds me of and I think I sent you guys the video.
You did.
So basically, I mean, you can look this up on Forbes or any other like Yahoo Finance and stuff like that.
Company name Fishy Business.
Back in 1973, a Princeton University professor did something similar but with a monkey, and he wrote a book which became a best-selling book. I think the professor's name was Burton Malkiel, I think it was. And his book is A Random Walk Down Wall Street, where he basically, I think, blindfolded a monkey and gave him darts to throw at the financial section in the newspaper.
Yo, no, he's gonna be dart. He doesn't know. A monkey can't throw.
I mean, again, this is the story, and mind you, this is 1973. I mean, the point is that it was at random, right?
Probably tomatoes or something.
The monkey's throwing darts at a random at the financial what's it called?
Maybe
the financial the financial part or section of the newspaper, and they're picking stocks at random, and essentially in short term they're getting like good returns on the supposed stock picks that this monkey was choosing. And a lot of people have replicated that type of system. And I think this is like just the newest iteration of it with the goldfish, and mind you, this is day trading. So it is different. It is a unique flavor of stock trading, but it's silly, man. It's something that it just shows you that
the guy was even like fully committed. He like woke up mad early, made a run, made himself breakfast, ate a whole egg raw, and he kind of like.
He's like, let's go.
Yeah. He's like, oh, Starbucks open. Go. And like,
right.
all that.
No, but that's crazy, dude. Yeah, I don't suggest anyone do that. I mean, yeah, you want to follow Mr. Reeves' actions? I mean, do it at your own risk. Right, exactly. I mean,
yes, it would be a good project if you're like a programmer, because what he did was pretty good stuff.
Oh, yeah, it took him 8 months to do this.
Hey.
Well, it took 3 of those months was actually running the model on the fish and acquiring the information he needed.
Yeah, he said I could do this in 3 hours, but it's better if I let the public, give me the random data sets.
Right.
Yeah. He allowed people to do his work.
No, that's awesome though. I mean, it's a great silly story.
Yeah,
it's one for the books.
But don't let a fish be your financial expert, please.
Yes,
go to an actual financial expert.
Right.
So, since we're gonna, for my next topic, we're gonna stay in the water.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about water.
Yes, water.
So water is very important. I would assume everyone here drinks water every day, right?
It's what 90% of your body's made out of. Yeah, of course.
70.
Is it 70? Or is it 80? Or is it 90?
I heard 70.
Okay.
25.
This is what, maybe it's made out of bacon grease. I don't know.
But yeah, Marco, you drink water every day, right?
Set out. Okay. Yes, I do. So just a heads up, Moy has to step out.
Sure.
Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Moy has to step out. Sorry about that. He said he's gotta step out now.
No problem.
Thank you for joining us. Okay.
It was
Thanks,
great being
Moy.
here, guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Drink your water.
Don't forget to drink water.
Yes, definitely.
Have a good one.
Have a good one. Bye.
You too, bro. Peace.
So water, right? So everybody here drinks water, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
you're right. Also at 70%.
70. Okay. So there's a new scam. Well, I shouldn't say there's a new scam, but it's reached the isles of or the shores of TikTok. At least that's where I found it. And I usually don't like it when there's scams like this on TikTok like this. But it involves water. So like I said, everybody drinks water. You can go to the tap for most places, drink it from there. If you want, get a Brita, get a filter. You filter out the water and you drink it. Yes. And it's fine for the most part. That's what most doctors tell you to do. You could go out and buy bottled water. You could go out and do this. There's many forms of getting water. Now, this scam wants you to not get your water from the tap, from the bottled waters. They want you to get it from their special filters. And what do these filters do? They alkalize your water. They don't filter it. They alkalize it. What does that mean? So basically, alcohol. So basically, the pH scale is something to use to determine how acidic something is or how basic or alkalized it is. So the alkalized is the opposite of acidic. I bring that up because this company, I believe the company is called Keegan Water. They're having their reps basically sell you on this filter. And like I said, the filter just alkalizes the water. Their scam is that, if you don't drink this alkalized water, then that's the reason that you're getting heart disease, cancer, all
the bad stuff.
Everything that can make your life go doo-doo.
Yes.
They're saying that the cause of it is because of the water you drink. And their solution is this magic filter that alkalizes. Now, it does actually alkalizes your water. But the problem here is that the filter ain't 20, 30, 50, maybe it's not even $100. The filter is $5,000. $5,000. That's
chump change.
2 months of rent for some people.
That's absolutely right.
Or a month of rent for some people.
Yeah, that's true. And they tell you that they use words like it's alkalized, it's hydronized, it can easily absorb in your body more because it's been alkalized water. It's hydronized for this purpose, and they have tests.
Yes,
I'll tell you the more common. I think like the top 3 common. The most common test is, of course, how I mentioned the pH test. The pH test, they have these little droplets, which are indicators to tell you how acidic or alkalized the water is. And they bring up waters like your tap water, your bottled waters, like Vase, Pierre, any type of water.
Damn, the fancy
bottled
ones.
water and top
Fiji
water is
water.
what they bring up. And they compare it with their... So I bring up that they call it so many things. I'm going to call it from here on out living water. So they bring out the living water and they tell you, you see how yellow it is. You see how yellow this is. You see how acidic this is.
How
and then
grimy.
you see my water here of the pH of 9.5. See how deep purple it is. See, this is, your body needs this. Your body needs it to easily be absorbed into your body. So you be healthy. You get all these heart disease and all that stuff. Problem is that the test in that sense is BS because sure, water can be acidic because there's minerals in it. Even from spring water can be acidic because of the fact that it has minerals in it. So your body really doesn't need an alkalized water because you would rather want something full of minerals that makes it like a little bit acidic but not too much. And on top of that, the way your stomach processes things, digest it, it's not because, it goes mush in there. It has hydrochloric acid, which is one of the most acidic things on this earth.
Let me fact check if it. I think it is the highest. I think it is the highest.
But so, no matter what you drink, what you consume in your stomach, where, it gets then sent to your intestines and that's where it absorbs everything, it's going to be coming out acidic either way or another. So the pH test is a bunch of baloney because no matter what you put in your body, when it's absorbed, it's going to be acidic.
right.
The next test they do is a chlorine test. Now, keep in mind that in some places, the tap water does have a toxic level of chlorine, but what they recommend is to use, filters like Brita's, water filters, and most if not all filters are designed to take out harsh toxins like chlorine away from your water and comes out not exactly pure water, but water that to the point that it still retains the minerals. It still retains, the nice crisp taste of it, and leaves behind the chlorine taste and the chlorine itself. So, their test, while it can be viable in some places, for the most part, if you have some kind of filter system that's not theirs, because mind you, their system does not take out any harsh toxins or chemicals. It just alkalizes their water. So if your water has chlorine in it, it more than likely won't take out chlorine. It might, because chlorine is acidic and it alkalizes it and it can't take it away like that. But there's other harsh chemicals or even materials like iron, like metals, that won't be alkalized. That can't be alkalized. That's gonna stay there even after it's been alkalized. So it'll be, in some places it'll be detrimental if you keep it there. So the next test is what was another test? I think those are the ones I've seen the most. Like the most I've seen has always been the pH test, where they tell you, look at how acidic this is. Look how terrible this is for you. Over here in the notes, in the show notes, I have 5 things that says that, or 5 things that the company doesn't want you to know. Let me just read real quick. So the Keegan water systems have the shortest warranties in the industries. Basically meaning that for most part, most filters have like a lifetime warranty or like a pretty long time warranty. Well, the company in Keegan water systems only have a warranty of 5 years. So basically you paid for 5 years of support and, you know, protection. Next we have here that, like I said, it doesn't filter heavy metals or salt. So, you know, while they can possibly take out chlorine, because like I said, chlorine is acidic, and when you do alkalizes it, it's a pretty heavy alkalizer, so it potentially can. I'm not a chemist, so I really don't know.
Yeah.
But for heavy metals, like I said, like mercury or lead, iron's fine in some levels, but mercury and lead, and even salt in some cases, they're no good. They're really like mercury and lead can lead to cancer.
Sodium,
That could kill you.
That can definitely kill you.
Can I interrupt you real quick with the example of the animals with the biggest, you know, acidic stomachs?
Cool.
Okay. For example,
and that's all for today.
The white-backed vulture has a stomach pH of 1.2.
And the Mickey Mouse.
And a great white shark has the pH of 1.3. Some other animals with strong stomach acid include humans with an pH value of 1.5. Basically anything that you can swallow, like even like, you know that sharks can take in license plate and digest that, right?
No way, for real?
Humans can do the same thing if you just don't get
if it doesn't rip apart your esophagus.
Bald eagles, 1.3. You know those guys eat anything. Ferrets have a stomach at pH level of 1.5. Owls, 1.3. We can beat owls, and I've seen owls destroy rabbits.
I think the scale goes from anywhere from 1 to 14, 7 being neutral.
Dang. And the common buzzard has a 1.1. Can you believe that?
Dang.
How do you say carroñero? Like the dead bodies that animal, like the vultures. Yeah, the vultures. Those have
like
a lower roadkill. There you go. Vultures.
Scavengers.
Yeah.
Those have a pH value of 1, and they destroy bodies on the road.
So basically, the closer it is to 1, it's more acidic. Closer to 14, it's more alkalized.
That's the highest then. The vulture.
Yeah.
1. Full stop.
Okay. So like I said, just to wrap up this second point is that the filter does not filter out heavy metals or salt, and like I said, mercury and lead, those are really important because those lead to cancers and they will kill you.
Right.
So the next point they bring up is Keegan water doesn't cure diseases. So they tell you that, you know, this will help you feel better because the water absorbs quicker in your body. All this stuff.
So false advertisement.
Yeah, there's basically little to no research indicating that this is true. It says here, the little paragraph, as for Keegan water, makes some pretty bold disease cure claims, but public health authorities have never evaluated any of those claims. I was looking up some research on, I believe, rats, that they like poured alkalized water and regular water onto them to see if they like lived longer, and they determined that there was negligible difference between the two.
Right.
Like maybe it would like go up by 1 or 2 months, but at that point it's not really worth it. So yeah. They said that the salespeople have to lie about Keegan water.
5K or 15K worth for your life by that point.
5,000.
Dang.
So they're saying that, and it's true. If you go to TikTok, if you look up the hashtag Keegan water, Keegan living water, whatever, these people will ride or die with their machine. Like there was one person that like to whip out the minority card saying that, oh, you know, these people are trying to make you drink this water and they're killing you. Like we have to rise up. And I'm like, why you gotta whip out this card just to sell the damn machine? You're getting commission like whatever you say, if people are gonna buy, you're gonna get a cut of that.
Hashtag sponsored.
So like I said, these people will ride or die and for this Keegan water.
Excellent.
Like the first person, the first person that I saw, he was doing the pH test, and he was like, "You see this? You see what this water does? This water is terrible for you. But my living water, look how quickly it absorbs it." Like he said, like, "Oh, if something is so acidic, if you try to put in my living water, you'll see that it doesn't do anything. It's still acidic." Well, it's like, well, and you see, like, but if something is really like has low acidity, and you put living water in, it absorbs quickly. And it's like, yeah, but the same thing can be said in your stomach, because your stomach is extremely acidic, and you're pouring living water, which is alkalized. That's gonna go down real quick.
Right.
So, and it's like, it doesn't matter. It's still going to come out as the same pH going in your intestines and, being absorbed. And what's worse is that, some of the minerals can be even taken out. So, I bring up this man who is a taster of waters, or sommeliers. I forget how to pronounce. Yeah. Martin Rees.
Sommelier.
This guy's career is based off of tasting water.
I want this guy's job.
This guy goes around the world, tasting water, saying,
"What company does he work
has very good minerals and all that stuff."
Very delicious.
And like, I'm not saying go out and become a water taster. But the guy sees he's being tagged in these videos, and he's like, "This is ridiculous."
It's like,
you're trying to convince
I'm a connoisseur of water.
He's like, you're trying to convince people to buy this $5,000 machine for what? You get alkalized water. And he even brings up, he's like, I've talked to doctors or researchers from like UCLA and them, and they're telling me that, number one, everything goes to your stomach, but what goes into your mouth goes into your stomach. That's water or food.
Right.
So at the end of the day, it's going to become acidic one way or another. And he's like, and what's worse is that they're now filtering out all the harsh metals. So, in some places that have like very high levels of lead, where, some people are like, oh, as long as you have a water filter, it'll take it out. Well, if you have this weird filter, it's not going to take it out.
This expensive filter.
Yeah, it's very expensive. And, the guy does go to the store and he's like, oh, don't buy this bottled water because it's just tap water. So he recommends you good water that has like a good source and will like be a good value for your dollar.
Yo.
So he's not out here saying go buy the $5,000 filter. He's like, just look at the website of these water bottles, look at the back even, and just take some time to really get a good reading on the water, and it's from a good source. Buy it. It could be even like these dollar Poland Spring has a few sources up in Maine.
16 ounces is $125 now.
Exactly. But like it's better to buy that than this alkalized water, because the alkalized water is $5,000.
How many bottles of that can you get? 16 ounces.
And I don't know.
Forget, that's not the point.
It's at least $1,000 a year, because I for sure think that after 5 years that thing is going to start breaking down.
Anything,
it's like, well, you're out of warranty.
Oh yeah, true.
So he was the one who like brings up. I remember one time he was tagging the person where he's like, oh, carbonated water, terrible for you because it has carbon dioxide, guys. Imagine that. Your body's breathing it out. And he goes, so?
Plants
it's
love
okay
that
to
stuff.
buy seltzer water, because you know what happens when you drink that? And you're full of carbon dioxide?
What?
You burp, you fart, you exhale it somehow.
Yeah, gets rid of it.
It's completely fine. He brings up a little clip from The Simpsons where, Homer just burps out from soda. He goes, that's what happens when you drink carbonated water. You burp it out. Or maybe you'll fart it out.
However,
your body is going to take care of it. It's not a big deal. You produce mass amount of it and your body is able to release it out. It's not
got
rocket
valves.
science, people.
It's biology.
And he goes, and again, with all of the acidity claims, you have the worst acid out there. That in most nature places, you don't want to have hydrochloric acid because it's so acidic, it'll break down things quickly. But your body has it to, remove all the nutrients, separate it out, so it makes it easier to, and kills bacteria. Look at that. You don't want to have alkalized stuff because it's like, imagine if your stomach was alkalized. You won't be able to break down stuff like that, like bacteria.
Could it help against heartburn?
Huh?
Could it help maybe a little bit against heartburn? I
What?
could probably pitch anything with a little bit of basic towards it that could cancel out a little bit of people having heartburn.
Yeah, but we have like
something that doesn't
antacids for
cost
that.
$5,000.
Yeah, we don't have something that costs $5,000.
There's other
And like
services.
he even like brings up is like even bottled alkalized water is like, what are they? It doesn't really make any sense
it
because
doesn't really do much for you.
So what's the sales pitch here is that
They make you
So-
sound healthy,
when
and
just-
they basically sell you.
Right.
They advertise something that's not
Oh,
true.
and if you tell them, if you give them the research behind all this, like he gave them articles to a person, it's like, listen, whatever you're trying to sell is wrong. He ignores them, and in some cases, they've even blocked them, which is normal for salesmen. It's like, why would they agree to this when they're trying to sell it?
they're blowing up his spot.
Yeah, but at the same time, as a water connoisseur or
Because they're
sommelier, whatever you like to
sommelier,
yeah,
a chimere.
it's his duty almost to say like, there's no point for a person to pay $5,000 for some whack water filter that doesn't really do much for them.
Yeah.
He's like, just go out and buy some Poland Spring, or so like a Perrier,
yes,
be fancy with it.
Period.
Be fancy with it. It's like this, you have tons of different options other than buying a $5,000 machine, and these guys go crazy about it. Like I still see the first guy I saw on TikTok. He's like, "Look, it's so acidic." I remember for one of them, I actually did like comment. I'm like, that your stomach is acidic, right? So, and he blocked me instantly. He even removed my comment.
Yo.
Like, well,
That's
I'm
crazy.
like, oh well.
So
And mind you, there's people out there that are supporting these guys either blindly or they're getting a cut of this commission. To say, "Oh yeah, get this water, guys, go, yeah." Whoosh.
this is just sad though. It's just like, and remember that time when you said, "Oh, get this wristband and it'll make your health better, like with copper or something, or magnetic, something
Yeah,
like
it's
that."
basically like some magic mystic juju that'll heal you and cleanse you
Sensu
and
bean.
make you exact
I remember-
Sensobean.
There you go. I can't wait until. Oh no! Don't say it. Well, I'm going to say it. I can't wait until that comes out as a product. Sensu bean. This bean will restore you to 100% health.
Well, it might not work because we have
man.
what's his name? The guy in the beanstalk,
Jack.
Jack.
Well, there's the lore. They got beef with each other.
Really?
That's why they're like, but like I people like that are running this scheme, they know because water is a scarce it's a valuable resource. Everybody likes to have their gallons and gallons of water.
And cash.
It's refreshing, and cash too. So like make it seem that the most common resource in our system, in our world, is bad for you,
They went
and
for
it has
that
to be
one.
filtered. Even says like it's probably better if you just go to a river and that's flowing, collect a bottle of that and drink it from there. It's like,
Yo,
it is what it is.
it is what it is. Well, water is
He's like,
is
cheers.
love.
Cheers.
I like how the guy is even seen like drinking this water from like a wine glass. He does everything. He smells it. He gets a taste of it. He's like a wine taster. He's like,
Asama.
He aerates
yes.
it, right?
Basically, he's like, yes, I
That's
can smell
hilarious.
this. Which spring is this from?
It tastes like $5,000. Yes. Mm.
Yes, tastes like BS. Yes,
Delicious.
alkalized, no minerals.
So what I'm getting here is there's also a business to taste test water as well.
Yo, I forgot. One last thing. It's like they've even gone so far and say this will help you clear your acne, and they'll help you disinfect your countertops. I'm like, no, come on.
What?
This and like nothing, no like alcohol or nothing, just pure alkalized water. It's like this will help you disinfect your
Lofty claims,
countertops.
sir.
It will help you clear up your acne. Like look how luscious my face is ever since I've been drinking living water. I'm like, nah, man. You go to a dermatologist, it's expensive for this.
Dermatologists don't want you to find this out.
He's like, oh, look at how my living water cleared my acne. And I'm like, boosh.
You're cussing him out.
Yeah, basically. I'm like, nah, what is that acne right there that you're hiding out with your makeup?
Hey, yo.
And they're like, oh my gosh.
Makeups hate this.
Basically.
Check your link that
I was
showed you.
like, I literally commented, I'm like, please don't disinfect this with your countertop with this and think that's all clean, because it's not. Bacteria is going to grow even more.
Acids.
Yeah,
they even need
absolutely,
acids
bro.
to disinfect things.
It's like, that's why we got Clorox
Lysol,
and Lysol.
bleach,
Vinegar.
vinegar.
Vinegar's acidic.
Vinegar will do it even better than that.
It's acidic.
Yeah, of course.
It's like, bro, don't fall into the schemes. It's like, why are you doing this?
Check the link that I sent you. The title is "Want to become a water tester?
I sure don't.
Water sommelier."
I mean, hey, they pay him. They pay him. He made a career out of it. He's pretty famous.
There's a training course.
So maybe you should. You'd be like, yo, this John Pierre, delicious. Don Pierre.
Pinot water.
It's like this Chateau de Paulin Spring from 1966.
Chateau de Poland.
I can smell the flowing mist from like. I can smell it flowing through the rocks.
I taste the fog of ye old time.
I can smell the fog of Maine.
That's crazy.
I can taste the waters from Acapulco.
Oh, there you go.
Delicious.
There you go.
I taste the well water here. Yes.
I have a third quick little rant.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
That's a little bit more closer to home. I didn't list it because I'm like, let me just do it. It involves me and Marcos.
Okay.
And Marcos knows.
Yes,
what this is.
please tell me.
Hold up. Let me look for a better sound effect for this.
As he clears his throat.
Let me pause the music.
He pauses the music and everything.
We had to take a quick break, and we're back. So again, moral of the story. Oh, sorry.
Don't buy that Keegan water filter, please. It's not gonna save your life. It ain't no miracle water. Ain't no living water.
But you know what will help you out in life? Listening to LTS.
Yes, that one. This is not
Here
a scam.
to broaden your knowledge, your horizons.
So before we had the break, I said I had a little rant that involves me and Marcos.
Yes, rant away, sir.
Marcos owes me money. No, I'm kidding.
That's a given. There's no doubt in that.
And
No,
we are
but,
back.
But me and Marcos around a month ago has made a pretty nice, solid purchase.
Yes, yes. A substantial purchases.
Yes. We both bought the Galaxy S22 Ultra, a phone that's been out for I think now close to 2 months. We bought it around the beginning of March. I don't want to give the exact. Oh, should I give the exact dates, Marcos?
No, don't. It's okay. Or if you want to, you go for it if you want to. Or both.
Well, I'll do mine at least. Let me whip up the calendar.
I consent to you share mine as well.
Okay. So I bought mine. I'll start with mine. I bought mine the 11th of March. And Marcos bought it, I think the 4th?
I think so, yeah.
So it's been quite a while. Now, when I bought mine, they promised me for it to be delivered on the 1st
Heaven, they promised.
of April. And I think for Marcos, they promised him the 25th, right?
Yep.
Well, we're well beyond those dates.
Yes.
And me and Marcos don't have those phones. The bright side of it is that it has actually been a month for Marcos. For me, it's supposed to be a month starting the 11th. But Marcos did manage to get a tracking number. So they did ship it out, and it's coming this week, right, Marcos?
This upcoming week, yeah.
Right.
As of the record.
Yes. As for me, though, I have no tracking number. So it's been quite a long time. And during these times, I got really impatient and decided to go to Reddit. And
As you should.
And I went to their customer support. So I first went to Reddit, and in Reddit,
As you do.
in Reddit, I've learned that we are not the only ones with this problem. It turns out that they had a lot of people are in the same boat, and they have a few recommendations for the people who got it and people who don't. One thing they point out is like call customer support and see what they can give you. So, with me being my impatient self, I decided to call them. The entire week of basically from that week that I was supposed to get it, I was, pressuring customer support. Yes. And I want to update this. On March 28th, I called them. Or no, sorry. I used their
Chat service.
their text chat service.
Their chat
Let me just pull it up right now. I did manage to take a screenshot of what they
boy
told
has
me.
receipts.
So I asked them, so this is what happens when you call them. They have a pretty good customer service in terms of contacting them. What you do is you go on their website. They have a contact us page. If you sign in with your Samsung account, they'll probably have the order numbers and everything pre-filled out, and you just have to put in a number or whatever or in an email. If you want to use their chat services, you just click chat. If you want to schedule a call, they can call you, and if it's something quick, they'll probably call you like as soon as you press the request.
For me, it was like a minute or 30 seconds.
Basically. So I decided to go the text route because I think I was in class during this time.
Wait, what? That's
yeah.
crazy, bro.
So I was texting them.
It's like, not now, prof. I'm talking to Samsung, please.
Sir, I'm with Samsung. Bye.
They be going in their own world in these classes. But anyway, I text them. So what you do is you give them your information, your billing address, your name, your email address, and they tell you an update. So they tell you to usually wait for 2 to 3 minutes, and they'll give you an update. So in my case, the rep was telling me, thank you for staying. I'll read the messages. Thank you for staying connected. Mind you, again, March 28th. Upon checking with the order details, your order is the Galaxy S22 Ultra. You placed this order on 11th of March. I really appreciate your choice for the product, and it is new device launched. I see the order status is ready to ship, and the estimated delivery date is 19th of April. I'm sure you'll receive your order on or before the 19th of April. You will receive an updated email of shipping and tracking details earlier. So once I got that text, I was like, so is it ready to be shipped? So it's ready to be shipped, but the delivery date is until April the 19th. And I asked them, does it usually take a long time to ship? Because I was like, that's a large gap between now, or even from the 1st to the 19th. That's 19 days. 18. And I said, does it take a long time to ship? Now, I'm gonna be honest, like for most customer support centers, don't think this guy is from the United States. I don't think English is his first language. And it says
That's
because either that or this guy is ignorant, because after I said, does it take a long time to ship? The guy says, yes, you are correct. Then he clarified and he said, no, as I mentioned, your order has been confirmed and is ready to be shipped by this week. In this mean gap, you will receive an updated email of shipping and tracking details. And I said, okay, it's just confusing for me since that is a large gap between shipping and being delivered. And he said, not to worry. Your order will be shipped soon, and our team will try to deliver the product on or before the date. And, I figured that if I keep on asking him the same question or even similar questions, it would just be going back and forth. So I ended the chat there. From there, I decided to call them to see if there's a difference. Now I can actually whip out the email he sent me. But as I'm whipping it out, I called the rep because I was very confused.
Inappropriate. Why are you whipping it out now?
What?
You said as you're whipping it out.
Well, the email he sent me.
Sorry.
I don't know what you're thinking, Marco.
Misunderstood. Sorry.
He's like, massage.
His mind is still in the dojins.
Yes. So I called with the rep. I actually have their name here, but I don't want to say it because I don't even think that's even their real name. And if it is, I really don't want to put her on blast because she was a nice rep, but didn't exactly give me the information I wanted.
They can only do so much. Yeah.
Yeah. So mind you, it is like a first and last name, but I don't know if that's actually her name. So I explained to her that your rep told me that my order is going to be shipped this week, and I told her, well, that sounds great and all. I don't know how true that is because that seems too good to be true. If it was really going to be shipped this week, did I not get her a number by now? And she was like, let me check on it. So she clicked her, she checked her thing, and she's like, okay, so I see that your order is in back order, which is true. I did knew that from the time.
Right.
And the delivery date is set for the 19th. Now, I can't promise that it's going to be shipped on this. She shipped by this week. I don't know who told you that, but obviously they're lying. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. And, we really don't know when your order is going to be shipped. And I was like, okay, why did your rep tell me this is something else? And she's like, I really don't know.
Why did they lie?
Yeah, why'd they lie? She's like, I can give you a compensation for the order being so late.
A free phone, you say?
Imagine, that would be great. It was like $50 back. And I can prioritize your order so that I could be getting there faster. And I was like, you know what? Sure. Why not? Prioritize my order, and I'll gladly accept the $50 refund because it's better than getting nothing, I guess.
True. Yes.
So she sent me an email saying that this email is to confirm that you'll be receiving an additional $50 refund on your order. Remember to reach back to us via email once it's shipped out so we can proceed on processing the refund. The order has been escalated, so please expect an email update within 3 business days.
So, Josue,
now,
I was going to ask you, when is... so they quoted you for when now that your phone is supposed to get to you?
Oh, the 19th. So from the day of the recording, 10 days.
All right. So now let me ask you a quick question. Say the 19th comes along and you still don't get your phone that day. What is the next action you will take? Would you ask for another 50? Would you ask for a refund? Or would you ask for another phone plus the phone that's coming in? So you get two phones.
I would ask for either the phone or some earbuds. I want another set of, I want that Galaxy Buds too.
Okay. No, but that sounds sensible because it makes no sense. They quote you after they mess it up for you. They quote you for the 19th, and then they expect you to be happy with $50 a credit.
Yeah, it's like, $50. What is this?
I think that's 3% or less than 1% even.
Imagine.
Here's some more because it goes deeper.
Okay.
Because like I said, I'm an impatient man when it comes to technology, especially the technology I bought.
Especially.
So the Friday, which is April 1st, April Fool's Day, I called them up again, and I've been calling them every day to check because I've just been pressuring them, even though I'm not really, they're a huge company. But on Friday, I got the same response as everyone else. It's coming. It's on its way. And I was like, you know what? I'm fed up with the same response or different responses I get, because one person tells me it's coming this week. The other people are telling me, no, who knows? And there's like, the next person's probably going to tell me it's shipped already, but I don't have a tracking number.
Right.
So I was like, let me speak with a supervisor because this is out of control.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And fortunately, she didn't try to like beat around the bush and say, well, no, she was like, okay, I completely understand. Let me see if there's a supervisor and I'll transfer you over. So I waited like 3 minutes and the lady comes back to me and is like, okay, look, I found my supervisor. I'm going to explain to him what's going on and I'll transfer him to you. Okay. And I was like, sure. Explain to him everything so I don't have to be like an answer machine.
Right.
So 5 minutes passed and she's like, okay, I'm gonna transfer you now. And just like within the few seconds, the supervisor came and was like, hi, my name is such such. I'm a supervisor here at e-commerce support. My agent here told me that, you're being frustrated about your order, and it's completely understandable because it has been a while since your order has been placed. So he tells me that, because we have a chip shortage, we don't have so much phones for the demand. And, we're having people be placed on back order so that, the people who bought it first will have priority. And then, it trickles down from there. So he's like, listen, the most I could do is the refund, like my agent has been telling you, and I can then prioritize this order. And I said, well, listen here, all of your reps has been telling me that, and the problem I'm having is the miscommunication I'm having with your reps, because every rep seems to have either a different story or a different outcome. Because I was like, fortunately, all your reps have been telling me that's going to be coming on the April 19th. However, some are either saying it's either going to be shipped this week, which by then it was the end of the week, or they don't know. Now, it's been how long? I mean, I was supposed to get the phone today, and, I have no tracking number. I have no estimation of when it'll be shipped. Nothing. I have nothing from you guys.
Yeah, I'm calling you from my old phone. It's not in my hand right now. Yeah.
It's like I'm here left to the dust with nothing. And you guys are telling me that, you don't know. And he tells me because there's a chip shortage. And in my mind, I didn't tell him this, but in my mind, I'm like, we've been having this chip shortage since the pandemic started. Essentially, by the end of 2020, it's been announced we had a chip shortage. Well, How do I know this? Because I went through the process of trying to buy a GPU in the mix of all of this chip shortage.
Absolutely.
Now, fortunately, I had a chance to buy a GPU, an RTX 3080, in the mix of all of this.
Shout out to Micro Center.
Exactly. And so, it's like, I understand that the chip shortage is out there, but the chip shortage has been here since, at the very least, the S21 Ultra, which is now a year-old phone. So you guys had all this time to plan for this, and you guys somehow failed.
Right.
On top of that, Reddit is a great way of getting information.
Yes.
Because I went on Reddit and saw people from like Canada. Within 2 weeks of them ordering their phone, they got it. So so obviously.
Is that because they have the Exynos, or because they have a different type of chipset?
I think it's because of the Exynos, and so since every other country has the Exynos version, and we're the only one that doesn't. I think because there's such a vast supply of it that this was the reason why they're saying there's a chip shortage, which, like I said, I think is really terrible for the company. Because like I said, you guys had so long to plan for this, and all your United States customers are here being placed on back order.
Left in the cold.
Yeah,
on a top of the line phone. This phone ain't $500, $600, $700, like it was back in the day. This is
3 times that value.
$1,100 phone.
Whatchamacallit, do you think it had to do also with the hack? They probably changed the BIOS directly there.
Nah, I don't think it's because of the hack, because the hack happened
Last month.
March. Yeah. And the phone has been out since February. So,
They probably want to change in the factory. Boom, 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 right off the bat.
nah, I think it's because, like I said, they didn't plan accordingly with the chip shortage. And, you know, instead of saying we messed up, they're like, well, you know, there's a chip shortage. What are we going to do?
They're trying to make it seem like, oh, they're trying to give you a roundabout, trying to hope that people don't catch on and ask for extras, which is like not going their way.
Yeah. So, the light of the end of this tunnel is that, you know, Marcos did get a tracking number. And
Oh, nice, Marcos. Congrats, bro.
Thank you.
so he got
Thank
an
you.
email on Monday saying that saying that it's been a month since he ordered the phone, and please, it said if you want to cancel it, go ahead, but please, if you want it, just stay with us. And
Like,
literally,
please
I
wait.
think,
No, I'll
Yes.
slap them. No, I will keep this phone.
and then on Thursday, I think he got the tracking number, and now it's coming up. It's coming up. It's getting here. He scheduled it for what, Wednesday?
Due to personal things and personal constraints, I decided to go for a Wednesday.
But it's coming. It's coming in this week, basically.
As of the recording.
Right. So I'm hoping by the time he gets his phone, I should be expecting a tracking. At the very least, I should be expecting a tracking number, because my phone will be a month since I've
Welcome to the club.
purchased it, and you know, hopefully I get it then. So yeah, that's my TED talk on this, on the adventures of getting a new phone in 2022.
It's quite an adventure there, Josue.
With Marcos Lopez.
Yes.
You know, at least Marcos is a little bit more patient, but I'm not.
I'm like bet that it's gonna come at the same time. He said at the beginning when we put in the order, I'm gonna go for the least popular item color. You know, he thought it was based off of color. You know, it might be back ordered. He even called it. It might be back ordered, the model, the color scheme that you ordered, because it's, you know, a popular one. But you know, he was wrong.
To a certain extent, that might be true, and it might be adding to the demand. People must have thought the same thing and opted for that color.
Yeah, which it is. I think black is the most popular one.
I would say so.
I would agree too. In the past alternate universe.
Because once you go black, you can never go back.
Yeah, black don't crack. You already know.
But I think it was more that they wanted to, because I think what the time we bought it, people that pre-ordered it got their delivery date set back to April 19th. So
Looking it over here. Oh, early. No, sorry. No.
So people that pre-ordered it at the time didn't even get their phones yet. So, you know, I did want to like have it ASAP, but you know, I did want it in. I got mine in green, and I thought the green looked really good because it was like it wasn't exactly a green, but it was more like a teal. So
It looks good. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
awesome.
So like I said, I'm gonna pass it on to I think Al,
Alan.
your food bites.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I don't even remember what I wrote down for last week or our last recording, actually. Since a lot of my bullet points were moved to this week, I don't even remember them. I actually have new ones, but we'll briefly touch upon these, and then I'll just mention a couple other things that I remember posting on our Instagram profile. So for those that haven't listened to our last podcast recording, we were basically letting you guys know that please participate in the polls for our Spotify
Yes, please.
profile.
Yes.
And definitely check us out on our new Instagram profile as well, where you can interact with us a little bit more, daily updates, and just nice
At
stories.
LTS.pod.
Absolutely. So one of the things that I vaguely remember posting about on the on last recording was the what's it called? Japan's cheapest cardboard beds can be bought and shipped to adventurous sleepers in the US for $50. And I think the story came about because of the earthquake that happened in Japan. I believe it was last month. A lot of these beds were already, or these cardboard beds were essentially made for people that went to Japan to participate in the Olympics. And it kind of translated over to emergency use if people are displaced in earthquakes and had to evacuate their homes or buildings their apartment buildings that they lived in. So because they probably have a surplus now, they're able to sell it outside of Japan. And I thought it was really like funny. In the story, it's like, yeah,
A profit.
yeah, it's like the capitalist world. I mean, money makes the world go around. And what do you have to show for it? For $50, a cardboard bed, sturdy, but not waterproof apparently. But
Is
I thought
any bed waterproof?
well, unless you have a water bed.
The
My
ultimate
bed is
one.
always waterproof.
Hey yo, no, but
But
I thought it was a silly story. I thought it was funny. It's like you never really think about like
Is it even
purchasing. Yeah, like probably cardboard isn't the first material you think about when you want to purchase a bed, especially since we live in the U.S. and we
literally
have
cardboard.
we see so many so many commercials where they're peddling a different or new mattress, a new company that's a startup like Casper or Purple or any of the numerous bed companies that have come about, like Avocado and whatnot. Which again, looking at this, like, yeah, maybe it does make sense. Maybe I need a cardboard bed, but I thought it was just a silly story I wanted to mention in the podcast. The next bullet point was for those that are, I guess, sports enthusiasts in the US, which is New York City Football Club, is in the semifinals for the Scotiabank CONCACAF Champions League, which I think they're versing Seattle. And I guess realistically, I think the game already passed, if I'm not wrong. And I think the next real, I guess, championship or league that they're participating in is the Open Cup. If that is still going on, or maybe it's already wrapped up as well, which we have, I think, qualifiers, or no, not qualifiers, but a group stage for the World Cup that's coming up. So get hyped about that if you are. And this is now moving from New York City Football Club to actual national teams that are participating in the World Cup. So again, something you might be interested in. I don't know. I thought it was interesting. Me being that I do enjoy watching the beautiful game from time to time. And another bullet point that I wanted to bring up, that we spoke about briefly, I think over text messaging or whatnot, was the fact that Elon Musk recently purchased 9.2% of shares of Twitter as of recent, and makes him the largest stakeholder of Twitter. And I think a day or two after he made the purchase, he became an actual a sitting chair member for the company, which means he's able to have a lot more input into the decision making of what's going on in the actual company. If you, and I don't know if you guys remember me sharing this on the text message or not, but basically he tweeted out, if you think that we needed an edit button for Twitter, which a lot of people obviously said, yes, make that happen. And he's like, okay. So it's really interesting to see how Twitter might shape up.
He's speaking to the people.
Well, I mean, on top of him being, purchasing a lot of shares, of Twitter, it made the whole stock go up in price. So essentially, if you have money in the stock market and you so happen to have Twitter as one of your stock picks, you might have gone up a substantial amount, percentage wise, of how much money you can potentially sell it for now. So I mean, it's not game changing or life changing, but I mean, hey, it was a pretty good jump.
This man basically said, you know what? I don't like how Twitter is running things. Let me buy a big portion of it to control it.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, depending on what view you have, you might see it as a positive view or a negative view. Me personally, I'm of the opinion that, hey, good for him. He's doing something. And
he's got the money to be proactive.
Yeah, about it. So it's not like he's trying to censor anyone, which he's apparently he's a big advocate as of recent, right? I don't know his past as much as probably other people do, but as of recent, he's been making a point to enjoy and let people enjoy their freedom of speech, right? With the pros and cons that come with that. And no matter how people feel, he thinks it's a good idea to speak your piece, speak your mind.
Exactly.
And hey, I don't think that's the wrong point of view to have, especially with this decision he made with his money, right? Another what's it called? Another point that I wanted to share with you guys that we did bring up, and I guess we did share it on the, what's it called? The Instagram, the LTS Instagram, was I think you already put it on the show notes, Marcos, which was the Robo Burger, right?
Yeah, it's right there. Yep.
Perfect. So the Robo Burger was a link that Marcos had shared, which was essentially, should we trust or should we be ready for automation or robots making our food? And from what I know, working in the industry, that was something that, was being talked about, where robots essentially were getting to the point where maybe not the whole process, but a good amount of it, where they could actually flip a burger or cook eggs or cook rice or XYZ things or procedures in the actual kitchen. Robots were able to do. Now, it's not like Wally was going to come to life and start hooking you up with some food, right? Or anything of the sort. But it's one of those things that makes you pause and think, are we getting closer to that level of automating and having robots doing the whole thing in the back end? Will obviously that is essentially, in the larger scheme of things, possibly a better thing, but at the same time, it displaces a lot of people in the workplace. And again, you could say you can probably have that internal, I guess, how would you describe
it? Counter argument.
Yeah, like the basically you have that difficulty of making that choice. Do you prefer having food made with TLC by someone that actually cares, or a cold calculating recipe learning robot that can make your food and essentially might come out the same each and every time? And if it's at a great quality, does that override the TLC part of the person that's making your food? So there's that aspect of it as well. And I thought it was a pretty good article, the one Marcos shared with us, because it does give you that perspective, right? That point of view. And again, I think Marcos's question was, would you trust it, or do you trust it? I don't know. I mean, it really depends on the point of view, or where you're looking at the situation, where it's like, yeah, that seems awesome, because it is. It's like I remember maybe a couple of years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, where there was a machine or kind of like a robot that prepares pizzas, and I think it was on a truck, like a pizza truck.
What?
Excuse me. Yeah. A pizza truck where
delicious.
Yeah, and then there's other robot arms that are serving soft serve ice cream, and I think I want to say maybe last year, like around autumn time, I want to say like around September, October, I was seeing advertisements of basically if you want to be an angel investor of some sort, investing in a robot that makes bubble tea. And it was really
getting excited there.
It's interesting because you're like, oh, that sounds awesome, but again, the people, like, you look at it this way: the person that's essentially going to start making a lot of money is the person that's going to not only develop the actual robot, but the one that has to service the robot, right? The technician that has to go and input the actual information, the code or whatever sequences that you have to upload the actual machine. And hopefully, chiming back to our earlier conversation, hoping that no one hacks your actual robot and makes your robot.
All these squares make a circle. All these squares make a circle.
Start making you a bubble tea made out of hot sauce and potentially killing you.
Yo.
Right? So, which again, that's a far-fetched type of scenario because essentially, who keeps hot sauce in the kitchen that's where we're making boba tea, right? But I mean, coffee, tea, maybe to a certain extent, pancakes, a soft serve ice cream, burgers. Like, you start adding the things up, and you start seeing that it's
So an automatic McDonald's.
Again, this is the reason. No, and I'll share this bit of insight with you guys. Even before the pandemic started, one of the major drivers of innovation for restaurants like McDonald's or fast food chains in general was especially in bigger cities like New York City, like LA, at San Francisco and other major cities and urban areas, was the fact that people were pushing for the $15 minimum wage. And essentially what happened was that it started making the franchise owners and the headquarters of a lot of companies start thinking to themselves, wait, that is not panning out. It doesn't make sense for us financially. What can we do in order for us to mitigate that hike in prices that we have, or paychecks we have to pay out to people? So they started implementing touchscreens in a lot of the major cities, where you go into the actual fast food restaurant and you start selecting off of a smart screen the stuff that you want to order, and there's minimal contact with the person at the front of the restaurant. So all you really have to do is sit down, wait until your number comes up, and your food or your order is called out by someone, and you go pick up your food. So that was one of the way that they started implementing technology into the actual fast food place. Fast forward after, I want to say 2018, 2019. At the end of 2019, we start hearing rumors of this pandemic coming out of China.
Late September, yeah.
Right. And I remember clearly because around this month in 2019, my brother and I were starting to we were starting to get our things ready to go to Japan. And once in Japan, we actually started seeing a lot of these things implemented in those restaurants, where you could just go up to a screen, click on stuff. Mind you, there's a lot of things that were still very old school, where you would have to go and order in person. But essentially that system was in place where, there was a smart screen for a lot of different things, where you didn't really have to interact with anyone, and you could just click away and get what you needed. Now, coming back to the States, New York in particular, there's quite a few franchises that I started seeing getting these things, and not to mention going into the city around Manhattan, there's a lot of things in these in these fast food joints where it was becoming more automated. And again, this was a response to this $15 minimum wage push that people were pushing, right? So by the time the pandemic starts, this was basically the fire that lit under people's asses to start innovating, to start making them innovate, to see what they can do in order for them to cut down on personnel, but keep producing the same amount of whether it be French fries, burgers, or wings, or what have you. And you saw that big scale up and we, I think, spoke about this in earlier podcasts about how the food industry were like, if you didn't have an app and you were a restaurant, you were basically lost. Yeah, you're lost in the sauce, and you weren't making enough revenue to actually break even, and you could potentially lose your business because you weren't making enough money. And this was interesting because I started thinking about that when I started looking at the article you sent me. And I said, wow, really, really, truly, we are moving towards that because first, people aren't going to want to pay people $15 an hour to flip burgers or make French fries, right? And then secondly, that displacement is being felt even more because a lot less people want to take on those type of jobs anymore nowadays, especially nowadays, right? But there's still a big want for that industry to grow and thrive because people want, fast food, and they want, for the most part,
I want it now.
Yeah, exactly. But if there's a middle ground that these owners or companies want to find where they can have have cheap labor, or the cheapest labor they can afford, and basically having a machine do a lot of the heavy lifting, where they don't have to pay the machine. They make a one-time purchase, and all they have to do is give it
the maintenance subscription.
Routine maintenance that could probably be even scheduled on a subscription service type of maintenance where a company comes in. Hey, and it's a business where you come in, you as a technician that has a background in computer science, a little bit of coding,
mechatronics,
and maybe you're an engineer in electronics of some sort, and you go in, do your thing, and you're making a cool 6 figures, and all you have to do is look at these robot arms that are flipping burgers, flipping eggs, flipping flapjacks and whatnot. And
what about the FDA though? The Food and Drug Administration, do you think that'll pass it?
I don't think it's an issue for them because they're I don't think that they're gonna start. I mean, if with new technology comes new rules and regulations, but at the same time, I don't think that's gonna be much of an issue, because they might say, well, you have to keep your robot arm clean every certain couple of hours or whatnot, right?
Yeah.
So okay, you can probably pay one of the already working for you employees to do that routinely, right? Or the manager takes care of it or whatnot, right? As part of their duty to maintain the restaurant or what have you. So that's one of those things that I'm looking that maybe in the next, I don't know, maybe 5 years or so, you're going to start seeing a lot of this being implemented with a heavier hand, where they're going to opt for the robot arm to do the soft serve, to flip the burgers or do something. And
what about cleaning, keeping the space clean if it's a bigger place?
Well, interestingly enough, a lot of new restaurants, or at least fast food restaurants, are moving away from the sit-down restaurant format that we're used to.
Like the diners?
Not only diners, but even the fast food joints, like the Chipotle's, like the McDonald's, like the Wendy's. They're moving away from that format and going more of a pickup format where you order online or order in person, but there's no real place to sit down, and it's more of like you grab your food and you bounce.
Yep. You in, you out.
Yeah. And the reason for that is because because of the pandemic, it kind of opened their eyes where they had different restaurants had a big place, a big sit down place to eat, but because of the pandemic, no one was really able to sit down and eat comfortably because they weren't allowing it for reasons, right? Of not trying to try to keep with the 6 feet rule and whatnot. Which again, everybody has their own take on that. So more than anything else, that was one of the major pushes that kind of showed people that, hey, DoorDash is a thing, Uber Eats is a thing, Postmates is a thing. So maybe we don't really need a lot of real estate or a lot of areas to actually serve people. All we really need is a big enough area where people can come, order or pick up, and they can be on their way. And moving forward, I think a lot of places are going to downsize in how big the actual restaurant
real estate
is.
market being more expensive.
Well, it depending on the newer developments that are going to be built, they're probably going to keep that in mind, where you don't need such a big place anymore to have tables and chairs and whatnot. Even now, for the people that lives in the States or outside of the States, right, in other countries, I don't know about you guys, but have you been to your local McDonald's or Burger King where they have a so-called play place? When's the last time you?
Nope.
Yeah. Do you see them open? Like, no, obviously not.
No.
Even now, it's like you start seeing parts of the restaurant being open for sit down eating, but it's not like it used to be where the whole place was open and everybody can spend a half an hour or so just chilling, eating, and leaving after the fact, right? So you start seeing less of that and more people pulling up to the curb and having their food being taken out to their car, or they just go in and pick up because they place their order on their app.
It's more convenient having an app now. Even
Right.
Dunkin' has an app.
Yeah, a lot of different, and again, back to the conversation we had a couple of or in like the earlier podcast, if your restaurant or your fast food joint doesn't have an app, you're basically stuck in water. Like you have no way of making waves. There's no way of people
Or staying
knowing.
afloat even. Right,
exactly. You might have to call it quits because you're not making revenue. And it just seems like that moving forward, that's the format. That's what's being seen, and that's what's taking place. And I think that there's positives, like there's negatives, like in most things. Innovation pushes things to get
Creativity.
better. Right, things to get better. But the con to that is that you're just displacing a lot of people that ultimately were working now aren't. And like we can have different examples of that happening for those people that drive and have to go through tolls, right? They eliminated for the most part the people that used to be there to take the money for the toll. Now it's all Easy Pass or what have you, that digitally or with the scan or the picture, whatever,
the Easy Pass.
right, scans the code or the little machine, the little gizmo or gadget that's stuck to the dash of your car,
Yeah.
and then you get charged. And
What is your opinion on that one? What do you think?
oh yeah, please guys.
No, what do you think? I mean, what do you think on that one?
Oh, on that particular thing,
Yeah.
it's great because now we have less of a line. That's the pro, right? You don't have to wait on long lines. You can just zoom through the actual scanner section and be on your
Yeah.
way. You don't have to wait for anyone. That's awesome. That alleviates a lot of the actual traffic on the roads, especially when you have thousands of cars going through a bridge or getting
On
from
the
point A
road
to
again.
exactly. It like alleviates a lot of that unnecessary traffic jam. But the problem there as well is that you displace
The
a lot of
counter
people.
argument is
Right, you displace the people that used to work there, that work there for their job, right?
Many years.
Yeah, again, I'm not saying, wow, they lost a career or whatnot, but hey, it was steady income for those people. So again, it's not a good feeling taking away someone's job, right? And like everything else, there's going to be things that, and we spoke about this as well. There was a point where, a horse and buggy was a thing until it wasn't, and cars became something.
Horses were standard for over 1,000 years.
Exactly, until innovation came along, and it basically displaced. And Josue's favorite word of last recording, it disrupted that industry.
Market disruptor.
Right. So,
what about the Uber one with the medallions? Did you hear about that one?
Yeah, that's another good one. I think that one is a little different because on top of the city making oodles and oodles of money selling medallions.
Can you expand it for the people that don't know about that?
All right. So basically, if you want to be a taxi driver and own your taxi outright, you basically have to register for a medallion. Now, these medallions sell for a very high price. I want to say in the thousands, like not 1,000, 2,000. I'm talking about like it's like a brand new car, thousands, like
6 figures. I've even heard from my boss.
Yeah, it was one of those things that once you bought it, it's like you essentially had the approval of the city to do your thing and be your own boss, essentially. But the problem here lies with the monopolization of the actual medallions and essentially the mafia. And not to say which mafia, but there's, like in many things, when there's money to be had, sometimes mafias come in and take control of the whole situation.
Can't this be called monopoly?
You could try to call it a monopoly, but it's not one company taking over. It's actual a group of people taking over a certain area where they designated where you can or cannot drive, or XYZ, or who is able to work here or not. So yeah, so it's a very, very crazy situation. And again, when there's money involved, there's sometimes those issues that come along with it. But more on the side of what we're talking about is that the problem with the medallion system is that when something disrupted like that system, like an Uber or a Lyft, what happened is that now you didn't necessarily need a medallion to function as a taxi driver. You could just turn on the app and you could pick up or hail, rides, and a system was put in place in order for you to charge money, and it became more streamlined, where in a taxi you had the meter running, and it would charge you for obviously the time, perhaps the amount of people that were in the taxi, and the distance that you had to drive. Where Uber or Lyft had everything on the app, and there was on peak and off peak hours where it might have cost more, cost less, and for those that use that app, you could see if you want, or you could select if you wanted a regular Uber X or Uber XL or what have you. So you had options, which really made it more a lot more streamlined and a lot more convenient for people that wanted to do certain things, or even the ride share system where you could share a ride, an Uber ride with another person and not have to pay the full price, or even share the price, or share the price with other people that were riding with you, right? You split the bill basically. So those are the things that innovation that was obtained with this new app like Uber. And the crazy thing about it was that essentially the company didn't own any of the cars. They didn't own or have any employees. Essentially, it was just you opening an app and using the app, and everybody basically saying, okay, I'm comfortable with, you know, paying the stranger that I don't know, getting into that stranger's car and trusting that the stranger is going to take me from point A to point B.
Something bad happened about that.
Hey, again, yeah, of course. Again, that's the, you know, back in the day, usually
don't get into strangers' cars. That was the main rule as a kid.
Usually, that was a like absolute, right? Absolute truth. Hey,
it's gospel.
Don't get into a stranger's car. Maybe not the best idea. And now, what do? It's like
There's
we download an app, right? We download an app to call a stranger to pick us up at our place of residence to
Tony.
take us.
Exactly.
And then to like just the cherry on top, and then you pay the stranger, right?
Do you think the background check was even enough, in your opinion?
Well, again, we would think that taxi drivers had those things in check, right? Where they have some sort of background check. And I mean, there's, you know, it's not a foolproof system. There's holes in their system, but it worked for a long time until it didn't, right? Or until there was competition. And I remember when taxi drivers were basically
pissed.
Boycotting or speaking out, because it's like, hey, I spent, you know, 6 figures on this medallion, and it went from 6 figures down to like a couple $100, if not less, because essentially anybody could be a taxi driver for whatever, you know, for whatever, how many rides you picked up, right? Or hailed for people. And it kind of was, hailed. Yeah, it kind of like blew up in their faces for people that, you know, saved their pennies and hard-earned money to buy a medallion. It was heartbreaking.
Some people could retire off that. You got the medallion, you're set for life.
That's what people thought.
Back in the day,
yeah, and unfortunately, I want to say maybe like 2018, 2019, or especially when
was I doing? 2015, 16.
When Uber and Lyft were becoming very prominent in like these bigger cities before they got banned from major metropolitan areas. Not a lot, but I do remember hearing about some taxi drivers taking their life because they didn't see the point of competing with these apps and stuff like that.
Literally ride or die.
Yeah, so they kind of felt displaced and they didn't know what to do, and unfortunately they thought that taking their own life was the solution. It was very, you know, it was intense.
Je ne sais quoi.
No, it was bad. But
now into the present, do you think this is a good thing, or is it still a band-aid, if you will?
I want to say, for specifically speaking about the Uber and Lyft thing, there's a lot of metropolitan areas or big cities where they kind of banned Uber and Lyft to function in the cities, like in I don't want to name any cities, but like there's certain cities. Yeah, there's certain cities that don't allow Ubers and Lyfts. There's airports that don't allow Ubers and Lyfts.
Till this day?
Yeah. They have a rule. They have a rule where they don't pick up or drop off. I think, and there's some places where, again, the rules are very different. Some places do allow pickup, but don't allow drop off, or they don't allow, or they do allow drop off, but they don't allow pickup. So it's very weird. Really depends on the company or the app that you're using, and the city that you're in. But again, it's one of those things that it's a hit or miss depending on what app you use, especially if you're outside the US, and they might have a different app that is more of a homegrown type of app that was made by someone in that particular country that they favor more than Uber and Lyft. So that's another thing that you have to be wary of. But moving back to the food aspect of it, again, I think that like it's awesome that we're moving towards, innovation of that,
Does automation equal innovation?
So I think in a lot of ways, yes. And let me just share this bit of information. I want to say back in the early 80s, late 70s, I might be wrong on the dates, but there was a thing called automats where there were essentially like little cubbies or walls of cubbies where you could pay for food that was already made or prepared, and all you had to do, it was like over like a wall of vending machine, but it was
Like a heating lamp?
it was like a heating lamp with a door with a window, and you could see what it was. You put in your money, you dialed the number, and it kind of like opened the latch for that little door. You open the door and you take out your food, and it was called automat. There was different types of automats, and
I never saw one of those. I thought it was a joke.
no, it's not. It's before our time. But the innovative thing about it was that it was ahead of its time in the sense that it was one of those things where you didn't need any personnel. You essentially just needed one person. Could be you, the owner, or you could have hired one person, and essentially that's all you really needed, because all you had to do was cook up the food, put it in the little windows, and no one needed to serve, no one needed to charge. It was all you, coin operated or what have you, and just the cook in the back to make the food and put in the window displays, and people just very reminiscent of certain things that Japanese people have in Japan. But it fell out of favor.
You're probably gonna say, where do you think it started?
Actually, it was American. It was an American innovation. Yeah, so again, it fell out of favor for whatever reason, and I think New York brought one back, and I'm not sure if it was New York City in particular, but I do remember hearing about one coming back, but I don't know if it's still in service or not. And the curious thing is that was very innovative.
Check this out. I shared you something in the notes. The first New York City automat opened in Times Square. Guess in what year?
1965.
1950?
1912.
Oh, there you go.
Considered by many to be the precursor of the fast food joints, automats became a regular spot for journalists, actors, and anyone who hadn't the time or the money to linger over a meal. You could see what you were getting. You didn't have to tip. Tip and culture. Dang, I shared you the link.
Yeah, so
that'll be in the Instagram if you want to, or in their social media.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely add a picture of that. So yeah, no, it was really groundbreaking and really innovative. But again, innovation doesn't necessitate progress, right? Even though it was a very convenient thing, it didn't evolve to something, I guess, newer. It fell out of favor, and people opted for a more one-on-one or personal interaction with the person. That's why, to your point, Marcos, we see a lot of diners, or there are a lot of diners or fast food.
That's a staple for America right there.
Again, but as we move forward, post-pandemic, diners aren't one of those things that people talk about or go to as often anymore. You know, they opt for the fast food location that has an app where they can order for pickup or order for delivery, and these are the things that we're seeing now. So, I mean, maybe if you had the money to open up an automat yourself, maybe it would be more than anything else for the nostalgia, maybe more for like, oh, that's one of those retro things that, was before my time. I would love to go for at least an experience. Maybe I like it. Maybe I'll go once every 2 months or whatnot, but it's not a necessity for a lot of people. For a lot of people, it's more of like, I want to get my food. I want McDonald's, or I want Wendy's, I want Shake Shack, and this is how I'm gonna go about it with this app, and I'll go pick up so I don't have to pay for the delivery service. But maybe I have a little extra money. I want to pay for the delivery service because, you know, I don't want to go all the way over there, so I'm doing it this way, right? Opposed to the automat. Automat was you go in, you look at the selection, you put in your money, you open the window, you grab your food, and it's nice and hot, and it's relatively fresh, and you don't have to waste your time talking to one of the personnel, and you go about your day. So innovation doesn't necessitate, you know, progress, but
I like that one. Yeah.
It's cool to see that people had these type of notions and things in mind, which I think is a beautiful thing. It shows you that people were very, very innovative, and they wanted progress, and they wanted to see things flourish, and they wanted to solve a problem that they saw. Right? The problem was we want food now because we work in an office building, and we don't have time to go and sit down to order food, especially wait online, finally be sat down, right, at a table, and then order food, wait for whoever's in the back, you know, cooking up food, get the food to us, and then we only have about 10 to 15 minutes to enjoy our meal, and then rush it back to the office building and get back to work.
So the word here is that correlation does not mean causation, in this sense that just because it happened earlier doesn't mean it was the right time either, in that sense.
Right. Sometimes they were just ahead of their time to a certain extent, right? Had the automat
had an app alongside.
No, well, had an automat opened up, you know, maybe post-pandemic, maybe it would have picked up some steam, and it might have been the standard after the fact, right? But again, you might want to make one or open one up for nostalgia reasons, right? But it doesn't mean that it's gonna work. But a lot of people, you know, how can I say, they want to, you know, spruce it up, make it look 21st century-ish.
What's that
right?
niche? What's that niche, if you will?
I don't know if you can classify it in any niches that you or I know of, but no. I think it kind of goes along with, hey, if you put one in, you know, a semi-rural area, people might like that and say, hey, yo, we're gonna go down to the automat, you want to, you know, meet us up there? And then you go and you're like, so what are you gonna order? Well, I want the fish and chips, or I want, you know, the burger with the French fries. What are you gonna get? Oh, I'm gonna get this pot roast right here that they have. Or, oh, look, they have, you know, I don't know, French toast and waffles, or
French toast with
chicken.
Fries.
Yeah, or fried chicken and waffles. I don't know. So people have more of an option, more of a selection, but at the same time, everybody can grab what they want, pay what the amount of money that it costs, and be on their way, right? Maybe they'll have a place so they can sit down, maybe they don't, maybe they can just take it with them, who knows, right? And if you look at, like, if you were to type in automat on Google, right, images or Bing images or DuckDuckGo, like, you start seeing people's creativity, you know, start painting the walls of how automats were mixed with, you know, what we have now as a technology, right? Or even color schemes and stuff like that. So I think it's an interesting idea, and I think that maybe people might be finding that middle ground with the apps nowadays.
You know what vibe? Okay. So there's a bunch of points that I want to point out, if you will, some observations that I want to point out.
Sure.
The automat. By the earliest one being by 1912. And New York City in 1912, already packed.
Absolutely.
So just the picture that I'm sharing some pictures over here with the squad, and they noticed that it's pretty spacious. That you need it's like that Costco, Sam's Club, all those places, a Walmart, they have those walls of refrigerators or aisles
wall
where they're
to
just
wall food.
Yeah, but the refrigerators, the act of them putting long aisles of refrigerators, you could do some spaces. could do the same thing in automats. You'd have like a hallway, and you just grab a warm food, probably to FDA standard, probably not, I don't know. And just pay, like you said, like in a vending machine, and the door unlocks on you, and you just go away. You just go away. Grab and go. That should have been a name for one of those. Grab and go. Snatch and grab. No, wait, no, hold up. That's wrong.
What?
That's wrong. That's no. But yeah, so that was my opinion. That's my observation, that it must have been like, for the reasons that it could have risen. It's a novelty item, but for efficiency wise, just the space and maintenance would have been too expensive. Maybe getting back in the back end to maintain any broken electronics, the electricity. It's probably not as efficient as it could be nowadays. That's another reason, the price of electricity of the heat lamps. What else? Cleaning. How often do you have to clean like an aisle or those things, the inside up? Because I'm getting the vibe of microwaves, but they're not. They're probably not. What else? The rent of the square footage in the city, rural areas. Have you ever have felt that thing in a small town, Alan, that you order in the diner? You order your food, and it'll be there. It'll be out when it's ready. You know, they don't tell you, oh, it's gonna be out in 5 minutes. Or no, order taken. It'll be ready. Please take a seat on blah 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 seat number. It'll be out when it's ready, and that's it. I don't want to, DDoS myself, but when I'm over here coming to see my parents, taking a highway, we found a little diner, and we're like, ooh, we hungry.
Oh, that's
Let's
awesome,
go eat.
dude.
We go eat, and we took a seat, and okay, what do you guys want? You want this? You want the clam chowder? You want the fish and chips, the Greek salad, and blah blah blah, right? Okay, it'll be out when it's ready. Thank you. Obviously, we weren't in New York State, and and the person just left. Okay, and then we're just talking. 10 minutes go by. Yeah, we keep talking. 15 minutes go by. Yeah. 30 minutes are in. 40 minutes in total, between 30 to 40 minutes. All of our orders came in. I'm like, oof. I'm spoiled. I've been spoiled. I said in my head, like, oof. And this was during the pandemic. During pandemic lives, our pandemic period. So it could have been because of the pandemic. It could have been multiple of reasons.
Right. Kind of caught up in the system where it's like we tend to forget that patience is a virtue, right? Or the best things are
what I want to point out
for those that wait, right? So
we wanted to point out that we had a time to talk. My parents, my brothers, and I, just chilling, chatting it up, and I really loved that experience of me talking, having to joke around with my parents, my mom, my dad, and my brothers. We were just, chatting jokes. At the time flew technically. I'm not saying it took forever. We were just talking, looking at the environment, just, having that experience of sitting in that diner, looking at the different things. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's some nice detailing. And, and that's the thing that diner specifically caught my eye, if you will. And we haven't gone there since again. But it was good. Just the experience of chatting. Like you were saying, that's a staple of the diners. What else? Now I'm thinking about this going back to the burgers. You can probably use an app for minimum interface with the computer. You can scan the QR code, and it'll send you to our web page even, and you can just put in your order, medium well, rare, or whatever. And they said it'll be done in 6 minutes. I think that's the web page for the Robo Burger, and it's at 6 minutes. The only thing you have to maintain is the lettuce, the meat. The meat has to be sourced from this group of people. That they cut it, they source you with a subscription, the vegetables, the meat, everything. They'll restock it for you. You don't even have to touch it. A person has to come in. You have to take care of the space. Okay. And that's what I was like. And
yeah, I mean, Marcos, those are really good points, and I think that has a lot to do. Like those are the questions that you would ask as a business owner.
Yeah.
Right. But I think also something that is very different, right?
Yeah.
It is the time period, right? Where nowadays there's an actual, FDA that regulates certain things, right? You have You have an actual department of health department, right, in the city that you live in, the state that you live in, the county that you live in. There's rules and regulations that are placed. We're talking about 1912, right?
That was a baby, the FDA.
Well, if it was even,
Looking it up now.
yeah, if it was even in
PSA.
No, FDA.
right.
Oh,
So
okay.
I don't know if,
Yeah, I'm
if it was a running officer. I mean,
A running office.
Oh no.
I'm losing my mind. Actual department that was being or enforced or used back in the day, or if it even existed in 1912, right? But rules were very different back then. You had to source like you said, you had to source your own ingredients and what have you, and you had to. I'm pretty sure you had to work a little harder to get your ingredients from point A to point B to you, and try to make
The supply
that-
chain.
Right, and the supply chain must have been very different back then compared to
I
now.
didn't think about that.
So
So, yeah.
I think that's why the quality was a lot different as well. Because people, and not to say that there aren't people that take pride, but back in the day, I have a sneaking suspicion that they took a lot more pride into their work, which made the end product a lot better, a lot more enjoyable, and a lot fresher because they had to compete with other people. And they weren't competing with Monsieur McDonald's or Monsieur Kentucky
Mac.
Fried Chicken. Yes.
Can I ask our assistant real quick? Let's see what they have. I have it written, but I want to hear from, let's see, the assistant. May I? Real quick?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, bro.
Well, I was gonna say maybe we should start heading to.
Yeah, the
No.
final part.
The-
Yeah, because I'm about
yes.
to drop
June
right now.
30th, 1906.
June 30th, 1906.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't that long.
It was a baby.
Yeah, it wasn't that long
Yeah,
of a
Marcos.
stretch.
It might be time.
Alan?
Yeah, no, definitely. Go ahead, guys. I thought it was a good point to end at.
Okay. So from deep fried all the way to
One more thing.
It's the phone.
Like you cut, G.
let's go for the anime.
So I actually have some. Well, I have a
Good
funny
news?
thing.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I have bad news.
Oh,
but
no.
I have a little funny thing. I didn't realize that every show has their own website, and I went into Komi Can't Communicate because they have a season coming out.
.jp or .com?
Of Komi-san / official.com, but it is
Oh.
Japanese.
That Google
but
Translate.
This is I have Google Translate, and this is how Google Translate translated it. So
Yeah,
this
Google
is
Translate
Komi's
translated.
character page, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it says, Mr. Fuyumi has communism. She looks like a beautiful girl who turns around, but when she tries to talk with others with extreme communism, she gets nervous and her facial expression becomes stiff. And she
This is a
says
meme. This
how
is a
to
joke.
talk and what to do after talking. And I think about it. She really wants to talk to people. Her dream is to make 100 friends.
Okay.
Shout out
This sounds
to
like-
Google.
Yo, this sounds like
Translate.
B got HK. This sounds
She's
like
like,
B
she
got
got
HK.
communism.
Yo.
She out here talking with extreme communism. I was
I'm
like,
pretty sure-
damn, call me.
I'm
What
pretty
is
sure
this?
I'm pretty sure they also refer to her as he, right?
She. No. She.
Oh, she.
Well,
Okay,
the first thing it said was Mr. Fuyumi has communism.
that's what I was implying. That's hilarious. Yeah, because I guess they don't really have a feminine and masculine he or she, right? It's watashi wa,
Yeah.
right? Which could be interchangeable for both, which is
So I do got
hilarious.
some unfortunate news.
What is it?
There's an anime called Shikimuri, Not Just a Cutie.
Hey, yo, that rhymes. I like it.
Yo.
So
happened to
let me
it, bro?
read you the synopsis and tell you what happened.
Okay.
The ultimate heartthrob girlfriend appears. Naturally
Heartthrob.
unlucky high school student Izumi girlfriend is her classmate Shikamori. She has a beautiful smile and kind personality, and always seems happy when she's with Izumi. She is a pretty cute and loving girlfriend, But when Izumi's in trouble, she transforms into a cool heartthrob girlfriend. The fun lives of the cutie
What does that even?
and cool Shikimari, Izumi, and their good friends never end. This 1000% precious romantic comedy now begins now. Wow.
Dr. Stone.
About
Dr.
that.
Stone.
About that. So the first episode is going to be aired on April 9th, which is tomorrow. Well, it's today, but it's going to be airing tomorrow because, actually, no, I think it aired today. Never mind.
As of this
Time
recording.
difference. Time
Yeah.
difference, right?
But there's been a little bit of hiccup for the next few episodes because there was a COVID-19 outbreak and during the production of Shikamaru-san, not just security. So because of this, the first episode is going to be scheduled on April 9th, which is today, but there is no dates for the next few episodes.
Oof. Oof.
So
in Japan. Oh my god.
in Japan. So hopefully they're saying that they're trying to do it for this season, but more than likely there's going to be a large gap between episode 1 and 2. So it says that the notice states that the committee is dedicated to putting the health and safety of the staff and cast first, and that they will continue working on the production, although not explicitly named in the statement. Studio Dogo Kobo is animating the series. So, so he's
So
directing
work
it.
from home much?
I don't know if they're
No.
gonna work from home, but they said that there's no information about how the future episodes might be affected.
I know they're not going to do it, bro, because it would be impossible to try to get everybody to get from point A to point B without messing up something in the middle, without being present.
Yeah,
What
but
do you mean? Like, I mean, that's a very specialty kind of branch of art itself. There has to be a lot of,
but Marcos, aside
Derriere?
from that,
yes,
yes.
butts. You mean?
Why do you use derriere, Marcos? You use that word a lot.
Because that's the
Are
one
you
of the.
French? Are you British, sir?
No, that's the one from the Seven
You
Deadly
French?
Sins, Derriere. I like to reference her a lot.
We.
Don't you
No,
know that
but,
from Seven Deadly Sins?
So,
Anime.
the first few episodes has been coming out this past week. And I got my rating. Aside from the ones we already, were watching, like Rising the Shield Hero,
Season 2.
Komi Can't Communicate, which is going to come out later on Netflix. Kaguya-sama, One Piece. Some good ones that I've watched is starting here next to Shikimori's Not Just a Cutie. Next to that, these two animes is The Skeleton Knight and Another World. The first
Is that the
episode I
fake
thought was pretty
one?
good.
Is that the fake, what's it called?
Ainz?
Overlord?
Yeah. It's actually
That's
pretty
awesome.
good because it's like
What?
it's similar to that, but like he's a holy knight.
Right,
So
right,
he's like-
right.
Oh, the
Justice
faraway
and all that.
paladin kind of style?
No. Like Ainz owns gold. Oh, I think I
Ainz
forget his name.
Ulgon.
Yeah.
I'm
but
definitely going
imagine
to let
him-
a lot of these episodes stack.
Imagine
at
him,
least
but not
5.
as a mage, but as a holy knight. And he has a rather beautiful elf girl. Another one that I've been liking is next to that was
It's like, please tell me more.
is a Hiden-san. I'm not gonna say the rest of that. I don't know how, but it's like a little bit of I think it's a romantic. What's this comedy school in shonen? It's this tall guy with this short girl relationship, and it's like funny because she's similar to Komi, but she does talk. It's just that she has a really soft tone. So like she's like moving her lips, and he's like, "Huh? What is she saying?"
So, kind of like the opposite of Uzaki-chan.
Yeah. But I find it funny, especially with the cover art, because it's him carrying her and she's like Supermaning it, just like we. But I think it's been pretty good, the first episode.
Okay. That
I like
also
it. I can-
reminds me, Josue. I don't know if you guys heard. I think, and don't believe me, definitely look this up. I think My Dress Up Darling has a season 2, even though they don't have a lot of material, manga or light novel wise, or I don't remember their publishing or their published work, but I do remember having that. And I think I also heard that Hunter x Hunter is coming back, if I'm not mistaken.
So you're saying that we should check on the doujins to see
Oh, wait,
the
no.
extra
I
work.
think Hunter x Hunter
Wait,
was.
what?
I think Hunter x Hunter was April Fool's joke.
Was it?
Aw.
Awesome. They got me then.
Wait, hold on. Let me see.
They got me then.
I
They
think
got
so.
me.
I think I
They got me
remember.
good.
I overheard that.
But yeah,
also
Dress Up
some
Darling, right? Doujins?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I was gonna say that some sad news was that the creator of Doraemon passed away. I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago.
He's finally ascended,
Yeah,
To rest.
basically.
Beyond that.
or to another
Yeah.
world, either or, depending your belief.
Yeah, right. What else?
Yeah.
I think what was the best-selling manga of all time, or
One,
Demon
no,
Slayer or One Piece?
I think
I
Doraemon.
don't. I think it was Doraemon. Yeah, that's why it was
longest
mentioned
streaming too.
in the same breath as the longest.
Even
running
longer than
manga.
The Simpsons.
I don't know, but you're probably right. What else? Any new anime movies that we should be keen on?
Oh, I
that
don't
we
know.
should
I was
be
gonna
looking-
list off some more anime that I'm watching this
Oh,
season.
please go ahead.
Yes, please,
go ahead.
please.
So I have here A Love After World Domination. So imagine Power Rangers with a Romeo and Juliet relationship.
Okay,
Isn't that
that sounds interesting.
Isn't that Conquest of a World or World Domination or something like that? Destruction, or the one with the Romeo and Juliet of the girl and the guy? What's
Nice.
her name? Revolution or Destruction of a Country or something like that?
Yo,
Hello.
you.
I can
Oh,
hear
sorry,
you.
do you hear us?
Oh yeah, what happened? You guys went mute.
I don't know. I've been looking at you.
I was hearing how Marcos
What's
was
the name of this one?
talking.
What is it? Revolution or Conquest of? Or
No. Listen, I'll repeat it again because I think you guys didn't hear me.
I heard you, bro.
I heard
Love
you.
After. Did you hear what I say?
Love after. I forgot.
No,
So
I
you
heard
weren't
you.
listening.
I heard
Did you
you,
hear
but we
the
didn't pay
explanation?
attention, right?
Yes,
Yeah, the
I was giving you
explanation.
the reason of the other anime that you said that wasn't good. The freezing night and the other guy that.
No. But like, did you hear the explanation? Because I didn't even hear you guys say anything.
We were quiet.
Well, if you want, just repeat
No,
it, bro.
like the music like went off.
Oh, I don't know, bro.
So I'll say it again.
Yeah, please go
Yeah.
ahead.
So, Love After World Domination is basically Power Rangers with the Romeo and Juliet relationship. That's it.
Yeah, and I said that sounds interesting.
Oh, I didn't hear that. The
Yeah.
music even went off.
Oh, probably
Marcos.
did cut. I thought that sounded interesting. Is it
Yeah,
something
it's-
you would recommend though,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
based
It's
on
like
that
a good,
premise?
yeah.
Is it more like
it's,
a comedy or
Yeah.
Or
It's like
action?
romance comedy.
okay?
Because they so basically it's the Red Ranger with their like the princess or like of the demon lord that are going out with each other.
Okay.
So every time they get
What?
seen together with from their teammates or their underlings, they have to
Okay.
pretend like they're fighting.
You know that kind of reminds me a little bit of a show that came out, I think, 1 or 2 seasons ago. I think it's called Hero X or X Heroes. No, I don't know if you guys remember
Wait,
that
is
one.
it like
Where
it was like a
it-
pervy one, right?
yeah. Where it
X
kind
here
of
with the
had
girl.
it kind of had those undertones of like Power Rangers.
Mm,
And,
oh no, this is like full on Power Rangers.
okay then. Oh, okay.
Like
Totally
they had
different things.
they had a full on transformation scene and everything.
Well, they also had that too in the other one, but again, maybe not the main point that they were trying to drive for that specific show. But yeah, no, it sounds interesting.
okay.
Anything
Let me see
else?
What's it called?
I can't get out of my head the other one that I was telling you. The one where the
Which
girl
one?
was like an ice mage, a very prominent
Anyway.
ice mage.
No, I'm kidding.
Are you talking about what's it called? Our Last Crusades?
There you go. Yeah, Last Crusade.
Yeah,
That was great. I really
Yeah, that
enjoyed
was
that
great.
one. There might be people that might not have enjoyed that one because maybe the pacing or maybe the Romeo Juliet type of relationship that they had on, but they had going on. But I thought it was enjoyable. I enjoyed it. I think I watched that when it came out. Like that one I kind of kept up with a little bit more, like every week instead of like stacking, because I thought it was a really interesting story.
So
Our Last Crusade or The Rise of a New World.
Right. What about
another one I have here is the Rising the Shield Hero season 2.
Season
Oh, that's awesome, bro.
They brought it back.
They brought it
released
back to
episode 1.
greatness.
Now Fumi comes back, getting
And now
stronger.
they have to fight a big ass. They have to fight a big turtle.
Big ass, you say?
Yes, I love it. It's something else is rising.
His shield
else?
rises to the occasion.
They have Kaguya-sama Love is War. I didn't watch episode 1 because
Love is Wide, you said?
I haven't watched
Love is
any
War.
of these shows
Oh, I
that
thought
you
you said
mentioned.
Love is Wide. I'm like, what?
And then Komi Can Communicate. Like I said, it's gonna come out later on Netflix. Unfortunately,
Okay.
They're not
they're
following
like 2
the
weeks
weekly?
behind.
Oh.
They are, but they're like 2 weeks behind.
Yeah, I can imagine, bro.
Oh, and this one I forgot. The greatest demon lord is reborn as typical nobody.
I saw that one. I saw the title of that one. I don't know if that's good or not. But
I liked it. It was pretty good. It said the most powerful demon lord in history,
hey,
Barbados,
yo.
Rose Voldigo.
felt that he had accomplished everything he could as a king. Because he was so alone due to how powerful he was, he longed for a much simpler life. A few millennia later, he is reborn as the villager, Ard Meteor.
Voldigo.
Voldigo.
Clearly, that's what it is.
But in the future, where he was reborn, magical civilization has declined and magic itself has become weaker. Ard enrolls in the Academy of Magic with his childhood friend Irina, and no matter how much he tries not to stand out, he can't hide the fact that he is not ordinary. He is constantly surrounded by people awestruck by him, and many try to approach him. Meanwhile, the demons of the world who once stroked fear in their hearts of the people have gone into hiding.
How dare they?
While the former demon lord be able to achieve the peaceful and mundane life he always dreamed of? A heroic academy life fantasy filled with chaos is about to begin.
Rose Voldigo. Isn't there a season 2 for that one?
Oh, what? No,
Rose Voldigo.
no,
You think death can hold me back?
yes.
What?
And I forgot this one too. Trapped in a dating sim, the world of otome games is tough for mobs.
What?
I'll rise up even if I'm a mob. Leon, a former office worker, is reincarnated into an otome game of swords and magic in this large female-dominated world. The only male who aren't oppressed are the handsome princes in Torridge, the
He's
male
not a princess.
advisory in the game. However, Leon has a secret weapon to help him in the despair of in oppression. Knowledge. The very game he is trapped in. Putting aside his aspiration to lead a peaceful life in the countryside, he utilizes his knowledge of the game to start a revolution against the girls and his male adversaries.
His prince.
I like how there was so before he was teleported into the game, he was forced to play the game by his little sister, and when he finished, he died because of sleep deprivation.
Okay.
And he was
That's
teleported
dark.
into this game. But he
What
knows
did the little
everything. He
sister
knows
do to
everything
him?
basically. He played the game for I don't know why he played the game straight through. What?
Bruh. Not even.
So-
It was probably Elden Ring. He didn't want to say it was Elden Ring.
No, it wasn't Elden Ring. Are you crazy? He took
what?
a full day. That would take a full week to finish.
With no sleep, he'd be already
Let me read the other synopsis from the other ones I forgot.
Unless he's Katsuragi-kun from the God Only Knows, right? The world God
yeah.
Only Knows.
the ones with the options
let
on
me
your head.
Start with
Yes. No. The
Or the
one where
flags?
where he basically conquers all the dating sim games.
Oh,
Yes.
what's the other one that I was thinking about? Where he sees the
My
life choices and decisions.
yeah,
Magical
or-
Teenage Romance.
no.
And
No, so
something
the
or other.
but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know
the
which
one with
you're
the
talking
flags
about.
on their head.
No,
Yeah.
the text boxes choose
Right.
this, choose that, choose this, and
Oh,
chocolate was there.
it's like something
My
God, something like that.
Yeah, my romantic choices are life choice or something like that. I
Life.
forgot the.
So
Continue.
here's a skeleton knight in another world. Ark decided to spend his time as a mercenary so as not to attract attention to himself. However, he's not the kind of man who can stand idly by when he witnesses evil acts take place right before his eyes. Mind you, he's a skeleton.
Evil.
This isekai fantasy series about the skeleton knight's unintentional quest to make the world a better place has arrived. And then Ahirin wa Hakanai. The story follows the indecipherable daily life of the short and quiet Rine, Ahirin, and Raido, who sits next to her in class. Ahirin is not so good at gauging the distance between people or personal boundaries, and Raido initially sensed some distance between the two of them. Then one day, when Raido picked up the eraser that Ahirin had dropped, the distance between them suddenly became uncomfortably close. From way too distant to way too close, Ahirin is simply unpredictable. She literally went up to his face, was like,
What is this? What is this shenanigans?
but she's like 4'11", 4'9". So the guy is like
Holy
carrying
smokes.
her. Yeah, she's tiny. What's funny too is that she has another friend that's like, I think 6 feet.
So she has another female friend or male friend?
It's the actual Big Short.
female.
The Big Short, Salt and Pepper.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ahirin is actually 4 feet 6 inches.
Wow. Oh Lord. So
And
she's the size of a
Raido-
classical Japanese knight. I mean a Japanese samurai.
Oh, so Raido's height's 5 feet 7. And Ahirin's height is about 4 feet 6 inches.
Almost a foot.
Almost a foot. It's not a good thing. And then yeah, like I said, the other friend, she's 6 feet tall.
A tall queen and a
Around
short
6
stack.
feet.
Oh.
Well,
Imagine
no, she's not a
5'11".
short. She's more of a short stalker because in the cover art, she's literally in the background, like hiding, watching them.
And then what about the big queen?
What a creep.
What about tall queen?
That is the tall queen.
Oh.
No, the main two characters are Raido and Ahirin.
It's like Marcos is used to American sized.
No, it's okay. I like both. Tall or small.
He likes a small stack.
It's like he don't discriminate.
I don't discriminate.
Regulate.
Oh, they also said that Data Live season 4 is coming out.
Oh,
They have no synopsis.
Get
go for it.
ready.
Give me the 411.
Well, I don't know. They don't have a synopsis, so I can't.
Then give me the 911.
Wait, you said I have the synopsis. No, wait, I don't.
No, I said they have no synopsis.
Oh, my bad.
Come on, Marcos. I told you.
Again, dial that 911, please.
911.
Oh, that's good stuff, bro.
Continue. That's really good.
Well, that's it for anime this season for spring
What about-
2022.
What about movies, bro?
Oh,
Any
movies.
like SAO movie come out?
Yeah. There's a
like
comic
this
movie that came
My
out.
Hero Academia movie.
Morbius.
Any more
Oh, the
JJK
Quintessential movie is coming up May 19th.
Hey, yo, get ready, yo. Get hype about that one, bro. Hopefully somebody
else?
gets married.
Odd Taxi is getting a movie.
Oh,
Did you see that anime?
I've
That
never
supposedly
seen that
already
one.
came out. I've seen it. It was
Really?
actually pretty good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it came out March 31st. I never heard wind of it.
Oh. Okay, that's
Let's
interesting.
see.
though.
That's about it for notable. Yeah.
Imagine, in the going back to the automates. Imagine you go and walk by the arc, and it says the choice is yours.
The choice is yours.
There you go, that one.
Yes,
I want that as a
yes.
sound bite there. The choice is yours.
Which we probably
Well,
need to
then
update. Yeah.
You can probably get it. It's not that hard.
We can make this easy way or the hard
Oh,
way.
the hard way.
Choice is yours.
Oh, the slime anime is getting a movie? What?
Excellence.
After he becomes a demon.
Hopefully it's not
November
a
2022.
Hopefully it's not an April Fool's joke either. Like the other one.
The choice is yours.
The choice is yours.
But Sarge.
You know what I don't see? I don't see the Dragon Ball movie.
Maybe that's one of the corrupted files that happened in the hack.
Yeah. Oh, One Piece. Film Redo.
Red Shanks. Yes, I would love to see that movie. But I don't know, guys. Do you think that it's still worth going to the movie theaters nowadays, or are you opting more for a watch at home type of situation?
Are you guys gonna watch, like, for example, there's a recent one that came, I think by DC?
I mean,
DC
if
or Marvel?
they do,
Wait, did
like
you-
The Morbius movie.
Did you guys see
I
the
didn't watch that
JJK
one.
movie?
what's that? Oh no, I haven't.
No.
The Zero movie? No,
Nah,
not yet. Are you guys going to watch it?
Maybe. When
Really?
it comes out
probably
online.
online.
Huh. Okay. Fair enough.
Oh, can I talk about the One Piece
One Piece
Manga.
2 pieces.
of chicken.
manga spoilers?
Go for
Because it's
it.
really big.
Okay.
It's bigger than me and you.
Wait, manga or movie?
Manga, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So here's a warning. You got 5 minutes.
5 minutes, 5 seconds.
You have 5 minutes to realize that this is a warning. If you don't want to be spoiled, I would like Marcus to please put his timestamp.
Wait, should we? Is Marcos gonna mute you because you're gonna spoil us now?
Probably. Marcus?
Hello.
No.
Oh, okay.
What does that mean?
Where's the other one? Where's the other one?
I don't know.
There you go.
Whoa.
So what does this mean?
This, like, warning. Spoilers incoming.
Basically.
Go for it. All set.
What does
Go.
that mean?
Here we go.
Here we go. So yeah, how fast should I make this, Marcos?
Don't worry, I'll rewind it.
You put a timestamp?
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Here you
Okay,
go.
so he's like, there you go. So I think it was like chapter 1043. Yeah, give or take. Luffy was, so for the past few chapters, they've been showing the results of the fights between everyone. I'm not gonna say who because I don't want to be that spoiled because that's a lot. But everyone had like their decisive winners. And then it came to the last battle, which was Kaido versus Luffy. And in that one, they announced that, you know, Kaido was the definitive winner. Because a member of Cypher Pole pushed Luffy into Kaido's is like, I don't know what is that called, a club with spikes.
Okay,
And
yeah.
Kaido actually hated that. He hated that so much that he killed the Cypher Pole member.
Wait, this is before someone was turned into a jump rope, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
And in the midst of that, after that chapter where we see that Kaido killed the Cypher Pole member, we see this transformation happening to Luffy.
Oh.
And we revealed some solid details, some very delicious details, if you must say.
Chef's kiss. Mwah.
Yes, because the last like page from that after before we saw Luffy transforming was the giant elephant. I don't know if you remember the giant elephant that like is basically the home of the minks, I think. The one that
Unisha or what's it called?
it's like Surish, something like that. He's basically like a giant mythical elephant that can live for a very long time.
Zunisha.
Yes, he can live for a very long time, and his feet basically reaches down to the ocean floor.
I think the perspective that was given by someone that was doing like the math on that was that the elephant or Zunisha could actually walk over the red line. That's how massive and
The
tall.
mountain.
Yeah, that red line that divides the sea, what's called the new world from the
Yeah, I think it is called the red line.
right. It's the red line.
So he actually told Momonosuke, he's like, "Do you hear that?" He's like, "What?" "I hear it. The drums of liberation. Joe Boy has arrived."
Oh wow.
And we see that we learn some new things from the next chapter, which I think is like 1044. We get a cutback to the government where the 5 elders are, the headquarters, and they explains like, do we really have to waste a cipher pool member to take out this kid? Like, why did we do this? And they go, well, we had to because we want to take out all threats, and this one was our biggest threat. He goes, what do you mean? They start explaining that the fruit that they've been trying to get for over 800 years, for some reason, always escaped their grasp, almost like it had a mind of its own. And then one of them said, well, that's typical for a Zoan type fruit. And they're like, what do you mean? So the oldest one, I think, said that, well, this fruit is so damn powerful that we had to rename it. We changed it to the gum fruit.
What? Can you repeat that again?
Thickens. Yes.
Can you repeat that again?
They had to change the name of the fruit to the gum fruit.
But how did they change names though? I thought
They literally went to the encyclopedia that they have and erased the original name and put down gum fruit.
So they rewrote history basically.
Gomu no mi.
But whenever you eat the fruit, you know the fruit name according to the Lord, don't you?
No, you learned of its powers.
I thought that
And
they
you
also
assume.
get I thought that's how they know the name of it.
Well,
no?
according to like some videos I'm watching, they said that they know knowledge of the abilities, but not of the name. But they kind of guess what the name is from the encyclopedia. And they said that this fruit was so dangerous that they had to rename the fruit to the gum fruit, which to jog everyone's memory, that's the name of the fruit Luffy ate. And they said that the reason why they did this was because whoever was able to awaken this fruit literally had the freedom and ability to do whatever they wanted. And that they even changed the type to paramecia. And they said that it's not a paramecia fruit, it's a Zoan type. It's a mythical Zoan type. So, and then they said the name of it, which is it was the human fruit, mythical Zoan type model Nika, which most people didn't realize it. I didn't until they explained it. The Zoan type fruit is based off of the sun god Nika, who he said that once you awaken it, you'll have the most ridiculous power of them all.
And I quote, ridiculous.
Ridiculous, yes.
Okay.
And then the next panel is literally you hear the sound of Luffy's heart beating like a drum, and he goes, "What's this? It's making me feel like happy and springy,
like dancing."
And you see, the next thing you see is Kaido was about to launch a big attack to wipe everyone out, and then you see a crack in the sky, and they're like, "What's that?" And they're like, "What?" And then all of a sudden, a big giant hand just grabbed Kaido, and he's like, "Get over here," and swung him around like a jump rope.
That's crazy.
And he literally like threw him around and threw him away. He was so Kaido was then pissed, and he threw him a blast breath, and you see Luffy kind of like his eyes came out of like cartoonish, like his eyes came out of his head. He was like, "Oh my gosh!" But then the guy grabbed the ground, lifted it up, and
he legit Looney Tunes it, man.
Yeah.
Oh no!
He turned the ground into rubber, and he bounced the thing back at him. And then the next scene, you see Luffy just started laughing out of nowhere. He just and Kaido's like, "Well then, you lived. To be honest with you, I didn't like that he helped me into defeating you, but now I don't have that sour taste in my mouth anymore." He goes, "Let's finish it." He's like, "Yeah, sure."
Oh, that's crazy.
And then the next chapter, we see Kaido versus Luffy, but now in his new Gear 5.
Gear 5.
He's basically like he's laced in like this white aura glow. His hair is white, and he's just happy all the time.
Wait, he turned Ultra Instinct? This is
basically
crazy.
So it's like imagine Gear 4, but without the hockey, and it's just all white. But he's still using hockey. He's like, cause I forgot what, but like Kaido's like he's laced with such powerful hockey.
With
Yet,
drogas.
Basically,
Cocaine.
but he's like,
Like,
but his
it's an
fighting style is so
incredible
weird. He's like, his fighting style is so weird.
It's
What
one
is
hell of a
this?
drug.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find it. Like he
But like this,
says,
he just
The
takes
drogas?
LSD, Luffy.
basically.
Luffy on
So
crack.
after that fight, by the bounce back, he's like, so I see that you've awakened your fruit, but the problem is that awakening is not like of a paramecia fruit. It's more of a Zoan fruit.
Right.
And he goes and swallows Luffy, but then Luffy decided to have the bright idea to turn into a balloon and inflates his stomach, and the man grabs Kaido's nose from his eyes and launched himself out of Kaido's mouth. And
That's stupid.
so we see a few new forms. We see Gum Gum Balloon, and then we see Gum Gum Giant, where the guy literally becomes a giant.
Oh, that's dope. That's crazy funny.
And then he again jump ropes him, but now he's actually doing it. And then again he hits him with another blast breath, and you see like Luffy, he's falling off in the sky, and he's like, "Oh shoot, I'm falling! Oh okay, hold on, let me just go after Kaido," and just runs at him in the sky. I don't know how he learned
Like
how
the
to skywalk.
coyote, like the coyote run walking.
And then Kaido hits him with a Raging Raku, and you see his giant face just comes out from the sky. He's like, "That hurt," and everybody's like, "Wait, that's Luffy." And you see
Luffy doing
Luffy
the
then
legit, doing the meep meep.
basically,
Yeah,
and then you see
Luffy.
Luffy's like, "Oh no," Kaido's like, "I see that your limit is coming up." He goes, "What do you mean my limit?" And you see him just powered down, all tuckered out. And then Kaido is like, he's like, "Who are you?" He's like, "What is this?" Let me see if I can find it. He says, "This can't end yet. Careful you die. Real well then." Oh no. Luffy then says that he can't end this yet, and he then says like, "Come on, heart, hit that beat." And he goes, "That's it. That's the sound." And he faces Kaido again, and then they start
Oh wow.
clowning around again. So next chapter comes out next week.
But wait,
They
so
take
what's,
break.
But no, it's coming out.
how
It's
many
coming
types?
out tomorrow.
Oh,
How many types of fruits are there? Like classes, Paramecian.
3.
Well, there's 3, but people are speculating that Luffy might have all 3.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, up ahead, like when Oda gives more information, it might come out that, and again, this is just me speculating, that that Luffy got the original, like the first fruit, which contains all 3 types of fruit. But that's just my headcanon. I could be totally wrong. Like out of his fruit, like all the other fruits kind of came to be. Like, cause we talk about fruits and stuff like that, or fruits are mentioned inside the what's it called? The lore of One Piece.
Yeah.
And you would have to think about like, where did all these fruit, like there must have been a tree that the fruit came from, right?
That's the thing. That's the treasure. The ancient letter
Yeah.
treasure thing.
So real
might be
quick,
something like that.
I wanna read the panel that you see the 5 elders were talking about the fruit, where they started saying, so here's one of the elders are saying, "So we lost an elite agent and made Kaido angry. What was the point? What if I told you that there was a potential future that would make us beg for this outcome? It is always better to eliminate dangerous variables. In every era, the world government has attempted to recover the Gum Gum fruit, and not once has it ever succeeded. For 800 years, it is as though the devil fruit is trying to escape our grasp. It very well might be. Zoan fruits contain a will of their own, and this particular fruit has the name of a god. The other name of the Gum Gum fruit is the Zoan type human fruit, mythical type model Nika, possessing a body with the properties of rubber, and fighting in whatever way he fancies, bringing smiles to the faces of the people. The warrior of liberation, also known as Nika the sun god. Awakening brings his rubbery body greater physical and strength and freedom. It is said that in all the world, there is no more power more ridiculous. So yeah.
Okay.
So
Sounds
just
like-
for the yeah.
That makes the gears in your brain start turning.
So
And
it's a
we can
Zoan
basically
type.
confirm from it's a Zoan type. We can confirm from Zurahashi's that this was probably the fruit that Joe Boy had from the hieroglyphics or the paragraph, whatever they're
The
calling.
poneglyphs.
Poneglyphs, yes.
Yep.
So Joe Boy, the one that reached the last island, like Roger.
Raftail. Oh yeah.
Yes, Raftail.
I think the L and their R's are like that.
Yes.
That's why I say it that way.
More than likely had the gum fruit or the long Hito no Mi mythical model type.
So does that mean
Humungus
that
penus.
does the person die and the fruit comes back or something?
Yeah, the fruit always comes back.
The fruit, basically, the person dies and it uses the body of the dead person to grow back as a fruit, if you will.
Yeah.
Does it? Or I thought it just transferred
we
to a
don't
different
really
tree.
know.
Like
We
the
don't really know what
closest-
happens. We just know that the fruit somehow it doesn't use the body, but it does somehow comes back. It uses a random fruit, and
Doesn't it just like go to the closest like fruit tree that's
Yeah.
near the vicinity of where that person
allegedly,
Like, when it
who really
goes, the
knows?
energy.
But
again,
it does like somehow come
So,
back into the world, and
to Josue's point, who really knows?
yes,
Only the writer.
Yes.
Only Oda Sensei.
But what I like how, like I said, Gear 5 is literally just imagine Gear 4. Like he had like that smoke around him. It almost looked like it was like something he put on.
You mean like his
Whenever-
blood turning like super red hot and like
No,
steam
like
comes out?
if you look up a picture of Gear 4,
Oh, you mean like
the-
what Kaido has, like the clouds that lift him up?
exactly.
Okay.
So
I see what you're saying.
imagine that, and then on top of that, his hair turns like almost like a flame white. Like it's
Like
it's-
Ultra
I say
Instinct,
flame,
right?
I say flame white
Or-
because
or
like it looks like it's on
superpowered,
fire, but it's on white. And then like he has like
superpowered,
different eyebrows. They're more like
sun.
curvy, and he has different pupils.
Right. Okay.
I don't know this. If you probably look up Gear 5.
Yeah, no,
but, like,
I've heard some of the. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say like it looks like he can go back and forth into being that muscular Gear 4 form, but then go back into his regular skinny form.
Yeah, no, I heard a lot of the speculations from different people giving their 2 cents about it, where it's like King of Lightning was talking about how we perceive the sun to be like yellow or whatever because of our point of view inside the Earth, like outside the Earth, like in space, if you were to look at the sun, it's like white because there's no atmosphere. That's basically
The gases in the atmosphere modifies
change the colors, right?
electromagnetic spectrum. The red
That
versus
we're
blue
looking
shit.
at it. So he talks about that. There's other people that are talking about how like I think also King Lightning was also mentioning how in his state that he's able to do all those changes to his body of getting big, small, in between, skinny, muscular, almost similar. Like he was basically comparing certain things that the Chopper could do because of his body, because he also has like the human fruit.
Yeah, he's
It's
also
a
a Zoan type.
A Zoan type, yeah.
So he was basically making those comparisons where the reason why, or the way Chopper is able to do like different points, right? Like his fighting point, his old man point, his like all those different
His
types
kung
of
fu
changes.
point. His
He's straight to the
points.
point, if you will.
Yeah, right. And those are like the same things or similar things that Luffy's able to do, with the added benefit of like also
Affecting his environment.
Having hockey.
having hockey and also manipulating his environment. What Marco
Altering
said.
reality, if you will.
Yeah, because he's basically Looney Tunes the world around him to a certain degree, right? And then also the fact that he's like, we haven't even seen, and he points this out where he's like, we haven't even seen him do any of his like Red Hawk type of things. Also making the correlation about his pupils, the way they look like Zunisha's pupils, the big elephant, and I think other members, like I want to say like Mihawk, also his pupils. And
like
other
that.
right?
So you think he has an AOE effect then?
Well, I feel like
essentially that's what it is. No,
The fire control.
well, he can literally. It's like the panel said. He can literally do whatever he wants.
if he breaks
He
the
can
fourth
change
wall,
every-
everywhere in the
he'll
world,
do
or
it.
just that
He
proximity?
can change his form. He can change his form, and he can even change forms of things he touches. Because in one of the panels, he straight up punched through Kaido's head.
Right,
But
it
when
prints, right?
He made it. He
Yeah.
made it into rubber so that it bounced back. So it
So
didn't
when
kill
did
it.
he-
It just
Yeah. When did he touch the sky though for the hand?
no.
I
He
don't know.
broke because Kaido was because you know how Onigashima is in the air.
Okay.
So it looked like it's cracked, but in reality, they're just up above in the sky. It's just a crack in the atmosphere in the sky.
Okay.
So when Kaido went down, he was about to finish everyone.
Crack, you
So-
say?
So then Luffy awakened, and then he grabbed him from the top and was like, "Get over here!" And like he literally dragging through him, like Goku over here, and he's like, yeah, what you gonna do now?"
So it's an
And then he
AOE,
threw
a
him-
field. Yeah, I'm feeling like it's
Well,
AOE.
it's not even a field because a field is more like Law's
World?
ability,
Yeah.
where he like creates room. That's the field ability. It's literally whatever Luffy touches that
The air.
he can change the
Does the air
shape.
have a distance that he can affect though?
I don't know. We haven't seen all of it yet because we only saw him transform into a giant
Mm-hmm.
and become a balloon inside of Kaido's stomach.
Mm-hmm. I like
Alright,
it. There's a lot of possibilities
and some of
here.
the some of the leaks for the next chapter, we literally see him grabbing lightning.
That's crazy.
He manipulates other elements too.
Well, I mean,
mean-
that's not that different when he faced off, what's that dude's name from Skypiea?
Oh, with
where
the rumble
Logia
rumble
type,
type?
right?
yeah, the Logia type lightning user, right? So his rubber, I guess,
Quality.
ability.
quality or composition made it so that he's resistant to lightning. So grabbing lightning at this point, he kind of Looney Tunes it, right? So it doesn't
Right.
doesn't seem far-fetched. My bigger thing right now is being that, okay, he has this power. I'm pretty sure to make the story exciting, Oda's gonna probably buff up Kaido in some way, shape, or form. So, you know, it's a compelling story where it's not like a one-sided, oh, Luffy just unlocked gear
Yes.
5 and he's able to
Slap him.
awaken his devil fruit, right? And now he's gonna give him the ass whooping of the lifetime. Like that kind of is like a one-sided story. So I don't think Oda's gonna do that. He's gonna make it more
He's
interesting.
like, I'm about to bring the belt.
Yeah, because look, and realistically speaking, we also have to wonder how that will also affect his next fight with maybe Big Mom potentially, or
Maybe.
even after Big Mom and after Kaido. Who is really next? We have still Blackbeard, and we also have Shanks, right? That he said he's gonna beat all the what's it called? All
Warlords.
the warlords.
Warlord. Oh no,
No,
the emperors.
Yeah, all the
They're
emperors,
called
right?
Yonkos.
Yonkos, and then we also have to take in consideration he
Finding
still has
Blacktail.
besides that, like the admirals he would probably have to fight, right? The world government to a certain
Yes,
degree. And obviously Usopp, it has to go to the land of the giants, so there might be people that he has to fight there as well. I don't know. So it kind of leads me to believe that there's other powerful entities that he has to face, that the story has to get interesting in order
and
for them
what's it called?
to use his
Emu.
powers.
What about
Right.
Emu?
Yeah, that's the world government essentially, because besides the admirals or the five wise
Five
men,
elders.
the 5 elders, he has to face off Emu to a certain degree, right? And they have to weave
Oh yeah,
together.
he's the king in the empty throne.
Right.
Just,
Or we don't even know if it's a king. It might be a queen. We don't
it
know.
could be a queen. Yeah, people are
Right.
speculating that could be Luffy's
My
mom.
queen.
Oh, that could be true. I mean,
Because we
maybe-
haven't seen any hints of his mom. We've seen only his dad.
Right. I mean, and other people speculate that maybe what's his name? It was a weird.
Dragon?
No, that's his dad. No, but there's a weird. There was a weird. What's it called? Speculation that a crocodile, was it?
Right.
It had a sex change of some sorts from
What?
yeah, and that might be his mom, and it's pretty weird. If you guys want to look up into that, I mean, you're free to do it, but
Nah, I like that more emu is his mom.
yeah, I prefer that one too, not for any other reason, but because it just would be a lot more dramatic.
Yeah, because like you have Garp, who's the war hero.
Right.
You have Dragon, who's the revolutionary leader. We have Luffy, who's about to clap everyone's cheeks on sight.
Right.
That will make
Ready
sense that
for
his mom
everyone.
is ultra powerful.
Right. Yeah, and then we would still have to see at what point will Luffy have to go to the moon, because that's another thing that they might want to tease or do.
Oh, and also the art.
Also, right, and then we would have to figure out how to weave into the
with the Sea
what-
Kings as well.
Sea Kings and the three what's it called, the three powers that they have to do. So being that Shirioshi is one of them, Poseidon, right, and then
Yeah,
we
the
have
Mermaid Princess and then Joe Boy.
Joy Boy, and then the other things that they have to link together, plus the Void Sentry. Like, there's a lot of loose ends right now, and him getting this Gear 5th and being like basically like a god Nika to a certain degree. It's like,
Sun God Nika.
right, it's like, that's great and all, like, that's awesome, like, story progression wise,
A lot of armor, even.
yeah, but now we have to tie up these loose ends of like these unanswered questions, or what's next, what's to come. And it's crazy because you still got the moon, you got the Void Sentry, you got Laugh-Tail, you have the giant islands,
Emu,
you have
Nayark.
the government, right? The what's it called?
And then finally, what is the One Piece?
exactly. What is a One
Because
Piece?
nobody knows what that is.
Oh, we would have to also see the all blue that Sanji is
all
looking
blue
for.
Sanji wants.
Right.
Nami making a map to the whole world.
Exactly.
Zoro becoming
Zoro
the
become
greatest
the
swordsman.
Right, and then we would have Chopper being the best doctor of the
Yeah, and
world's
then
greatest
Nami,
of the Pirate King. No,
and then
Robin,
Robin would be like
solving the Poneglyphs of
Yeah.
the Void Sentry, seeing how Shirioshi, Poseidon, and the other, potential world breaking, or Zunisha's backstory, or how she fits into the whole thing, and how what's it called? Where are they located again? They're
Who?
located right now. The story, where is it taking place?
so they're right now in Wano.
How Wano
Really?
fits? Yeah, Wano. How it all
They
fits
went
into.
back to there?
Well, this is like the first time we're really getting in like deep into.
Yeah, we've never
country?
we've only mentioned Wano before.
Yeah.
And just Rosa.
Right.
And we didn't even know about Odin
we have
back
to,
then.
and we have to also. Well, they have to kind of like flesh out Dr. Vegapunk. It would be nice.
Oh yeah.
And what happened to Aokiji after he defected from the admirals, or from the system, or the world
The
government?
icy guy?
Yeah. And the other admirals
I
that
just-
need to take a place. Yeah, there's a lot of loose ends.
I just realized. So Poseidon is part of the 3 ancient weapons.
There you go. Ancient weapons.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking for.
So it says that Poseidon is the mermaid with the power to communicate with and command the
Sea
sea kings.
Yes.
Pluton. Let me whip him out.
Hey, yo.
Is alongside Poseidon and Uranus. Pluton is a
Uranus.
Pluton is a highly advanced warship capable of mass destruction, and then
Which
Uranus
that's
is,
Frankie's forte is building
Yeah.
that ship, right?
and then Uranus is. This says the conversation with King Neptune. Says that bear.
So we
she
have to go
says
back
that
to Fishman
three
Island.
ancient weapons that bear the name of God. It doesn't even say what Uranus is.
Nah, they don't. They haven't explained what that is.
It might be Luffy, because it says the
maybe.
three ancient weapons bear the name of gods.
Well, also it might be what's it called? Something that's located on the moon,
Yeah.
potentially, right?
Oh yeah,
What's
another thing.
that or the giants.
The giants. Yeah.
The Giants.
And like I said, voice entry, laugh tail.
Yeah, that's another.
Emu. There's a lot of
Laugh tail,
things. There's still, but like at least they're cleaning up loose ends.
Like
Yeah,
us.
yeah, they're
Because
completing.
I think at this point we realized that Kaido's gonna get defeated. He's gonna get his ass clapped. This whoosh,
right, and it
rubber.
would make sense story wise.
Yeah.
But they would have to beat to make. I think for it to make sense, or at least for it to make better sense, is that he would have to also beat Big Mom at the same time in order for the, because it's like he would literally have to go back to
Well,
Whole Cake Island, right?
There's a problem with that. Big Mom already got defeated.
Oh, okay.
She got
Like-
beat by Kid in Law.
Okay, that makes sense. I think,
Trafalgar.
or at least for Law, that makes sense. If I'm not mistaken.
Law and Kid teamed up to beat Big Mama. She's like, I think right now she's unconscious. Not like.
Okay.
What was her power?
It's the soul fruit.
Oh.
She's able to transfer someone's consciousness into another thing, or to take it right from them.
Right.
It's like,
So when
it's
they say
pretty
that
similar.
Mama's going for your soul, she's not kidding.
Well, yeah. Don't you know the phrase "life or something else"?
What?
Yeah, she literally
Right,
looks at you.
yeah.
She's like life, or and then like, I think for what's his name?
Life or food.
No, because what's for
to,
Jinbei? Jinbei's like stay or life. And he's like neither, and boom. If she can dominate
Yes.
your will, she got you. So like for the most part, most people with Congress Aki can't be affected by her fruit, but she's still like, because she transferred the souls to other, like Zeus and Prometheus, I think. Those are her
Prometheus.
weapons. Prometheus.
What happened?
Yeah.
Those are her weapons.
Oh.
Well, Zeus is not with Nami.
And then
What?
right, and then she still has her captain's hat. What, I forgot the name of it.
I forgot the
the
name
hat.
of the sword. It's another like Greek
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. I don't know if it's Hercules or something like that, or
No, it's like.
Aristotle or something. I don't know.
Can you
Some
imagine?
Greek
There's-
or
Let me look up the
Roman Greek
weapons.
name.
Let's go for Homer.
Yeah.
Why not Homer?
Yes.
Homer
the Iliad
Simpson?
and the Odyssey.
I gotta look up her weapons real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Definitely.
She has way too many costumes and
Right.
looks.
Oh, you know which one I also remembered that he might need to face is the self-proclaimed son of Whitebeard.
Oh yeah, but didn't he get captured by the world government?
I don't know.
Poseidon, Prometheus, and Napoleon.
Napoleon, yes.
Napoleon.
The hats, the sword hat, Napoleon.
What did they
Course.
do?
But like the self-proclaimed son of Whitebeard is not that strong.
Well, I haven't seen him like in a while, so I wouldn't know. It's like saying that Blackbeard isn't gonna get any stronger.
Yeah, that's true. But like I said, these hands are not rated E for everyone. I'm pretty sure he's up there now, even with Shanks.
Yeah, and then still we would have to also flesh out the what's it called, the dragon and
Yeah,
and his
and
whole
Sabo.
group. It's Sabo and all those
And
people right
Hulk.
there. Yeah.
Yo,
So that's another thing.
I feel like Luffy's bounty is about to go to like 2 billion after
Yeah.
this, or maybe even more. They might make him the
Probably.
highest because they really want that fruit.
Right. And also remember the pirate captain that was basically the one that had all the major names back in the day.
Rox.
Rox Sebek, I think his name is. Like he might make a cameo, an appearance, because he never got caught, right?
I thought he died.
Or did he? Oh, I don't
Let me
remember.
check.
Because if he's still around,
because he did get he got clapped by Roger and Garp.
and Garp, right? But I don't know if he got captured or
No,
killed.
he died.
He died?
It says deceased.
Garp, the hero.
Okay. Okay, then that makes sense.
30 years from the present.
What was Garp's ability again?
Garp? He got hands.
Oh.
Yeah. He only has
Garp
armament.
the Fist.
Yeah, he's only has armament. He doesn't have any
I
devil
feel like
fruit.
I feel like he has conquered though.
He might have 2 of the 3. He probably has
according
armament.
to Sengoku, Rox is no longer alive.
Okay. Well, that again, maybe that's they might bring him back. I don't know. Maybe the world government had a deal with him. I don't know.
Maybe.
He's under protective custody.
Yeah, maybe he's still like at the bottom of the
but
barrel.
he's probably like chained up to his neck.
Yeah, probably. Because to basically tell the like Big Mom and Kaido and everybody else that was under him,
They were
like
all
what
part
to do.
of him.
Yeah,
Big
like
Mama was under him?
yeah.
It
That's
was
what I'm saying.
Whitebeard, Big Mama, Kaido were all of them. And the only person that took them down was Garp and Roger.
They were like a gang back in the day.
That was
basically. I mean, they were unstoppable.
apparently, yeah.
And they're unstoppable now, each one individually.
So
Well, no, because they're getting clapped.
yeah, so the amount of power that Rox Sebek had to basically control them or basically have them under him must have been crazy.
Yeah. What I want to know, this is a random thing, but what I want to know is what happened to Roger's sword.
What?
Okay, yeah, that's
Because
an
Roger, if you don't
Had a
remember,
sword, yeah.
Roger had a sword that was like the 12 most rarest blades out there.
right.
And oddly enough, it was named Ace.
Oh, maybe he left it at Laugh Tale
He could have,
as part of
but that was it was a cutlass blade. That he
Cutlass
had.
is the Frenchman, right?
Yeah, I think so. But it was we saw it when he was fighting Whitebeard in the flashback with Odin. We saw it there, but after he got captured, who knows what happened?
So wait. So Whitebeard was never Whitebeard.
Roger's main weapon was a cutlass named Ace, which is one of the 12 supreme grade in Meto.
yes.
Mind you,
I need one of those.
Out of 12, we know 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't even know what one looks like.
Yeah, no, I need one of those though.
If you want a reminder of the 4 or the 3 that we know is Euro with Mihawk, the long name but basically the spear with Whitebeard, and then the cutlass with Roger.
That's
Bet
crazy.
that Zoro's gonna get 3.
He's gonna use all 3.
Well, Zoro already has a great sword, which is the one
Right.
below it, which is Enma.
Enma, yes. You imagine it like sucks up his energy, like his life energy, and then like adding 2 more to that, he'll be like a bone, son. He'll be old.
Basically.
Oh yeah, it makes him
He
older.
even
Then?
had
I
Shisui.
think.
Oh yeah, the
Yes.
curse
So
sword.
Shusui. Yeah, the cursed one. But he
He
gave
broke
that
it.
up for Enma.
Oh damn!
No, he didn't break it. He gave it back to Wano.
Yeah, as a national treasure because that's what it was to them.
Which
It
one's
was
the
a
one that he
big
cut the giant with? Wait, was that one right? Shisui?
I think so.
That the skeleton
mountain?
samurai had it when he went to the death to.
Oh yeah.
What's the name of that ship?
I don't know.
I don't
remember.
Where everyone got their souls got transferred to a penguin, a toa.
Was that the Ark?
Something
when they were
Ark.
Fishman Island?
No. Yeah, something like that. It was something Parks. No. That there was a giant, the oldest giant that was there that Luffy was fighting. And
Wars? You mean?
something like that. Yeah. Then Zoro said nothing. What happened? Absolutely nothing.
Oh no, I
That's
don't remember, bro.
That's when he got that
Oh,
sword.
you
from.
meant with Kuma?
Yeah. There you go.
I forgot where that was.
But you know what I mean?
Wasn't
That's
that in
Oh, that was
wasn't
with.
that the world
they
government,
found-
wasn't it?
Fear Park or something like that.
Oh yeah, no, that was Punk Hazard. No, not Punk Hazard.
It was a ship.
Yeah, that's where they found
sword.
what's my man's? No, the
Cypher pole.
no, that's
Let me
where they
look it up.
found.
What am I
that
joking?
was like the beginning of the arc of where they found what's this guy's name? The
Frankie?
bones.
Yeah,
the
no.
bones.
Brooke?
After that, they
Brooke.
found Frankie. Brooke.
So it was Brooke, and then they were in I forgot the name of the island, but it's
Something Park. A Long Park or something.
no, that's like the first arc.
Oh no! Hold
with
up. Let me
Nami.
go check. Checking.
It's with Moria, with the like vampire esque type of a warlord. And the island was called something Park, I think. I forgot. But the point is that that's where they buried Ryoma, right? Or they were using it as a they were using him as a puppet with his sword.
Yep.
And Zoro had to fight him, and when he defeated him, he took his sword.
And that one was the sword.
Yeah. Gecko Moria was the villain for that arc. Yeah, and then because his one of his swords broke, he left it there. Like he buried it. He gave it a burial and took Ryoma's sword. And people were speculating that Ryoma was his ancestor, basically, like a family member of Zoro, because of how they drew him, like how he looked.
No way.
Yeah.
He fought an ancestor, if you will.
Well, that again, people speculated that was his ancestor because they look so much alike.
Okay.
And apparently, from Oda's one shot before he started One Piece, Ryoma was one of the characters in that one shot. So it's kind of like a prequel, the one shot before One Piece. There was a lot of overlapping characters that look very similar. Not Punk Hazard, not Arlong Park. I don't remember the island.
But I know which one we know. I know what you're talking about.
Because we know.
The comment is gonna say stuff. Do you have any? Oh yeah. So yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. You think we should call it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold up.
Yeah.
Now, after talking all that,
I guess we even need a timestamp.
there you go.
Timestamp is done.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen,
Or
thank you.
Thriller Bark.
Thriller Bark. There you go. It's not Park. From all that, let's
That
put
was
it.
close.
Yeah. Thriller Bark. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on this recording of the
Magical
podcast,
journey.
Life, Tech, and Sundry. Thank you, Josue, for joining us.
Yes.
Thank you, Alan, for joining us.
Thank you guys. Good night.
And once again, thank you, Moy, for joining us on this episode of the
Wherever you are.
podcast, wherever you are. And now, tomatoes. No, I'm just kidding. Don't worry, guys. We also got that social media. We'll put different things there. Twitter. You'll
Please
see
follow
everything
us
in the
at
show notes.
lts.pod.
That's an Instagram.
lts.pod.
Don't forget the polls.
Thank you, guys. It's Marcos. Stay frosty.
Or not. You can say
Peace.
womp womp.
Hi there. Thank you for tuning into the LTS podcast. All the notes and more can be found in the description. By the way, we have a social media page where content is posted regularly. Feel free to reach out at us through there or via email. Both are found in the description. So, Alan, don't you forget that to remind the characters or the listeners. What am I saying? The listeners that there's some little extra stuff at the end of the description of each podcast episode that you can find in Spotify, right, Alan?
That's right, Marcos. post, a poll, or maybe a link. Anything and everything. At least that's what I think. Yeah, so guys, at the end of the podcast, when you're finished listening, don't forget to participate in our polls that we usually have.
Well, try to have stuff, polls, questions, comments. You could always drop us a comment, through the links that we have in the description as well of our guests and our own. Also, please rate us 5 stars on your favorite podcast catcher. Every comment is really appreciated. Music credits in the description as well. Peace.